Welcome back to Numbers on the Board.
Numbers on the Board, yes!
Three-man weaving it. Mike did all that talk at the top of last episode. His girlfriend was sick, but he ain't catch it. He got it, man.
Well, no, he did say his throat was tickling a little bit.
But he did say he was gonna power through.
Yeah, he said I'm good though. You know it don't be.
And I told him once you feel that tickle in
You
your
did.
throat,
You
it's
did. You know what else you said?
Get that medicine.
You said that hey, the Blazers be showing up. And I feel like the Blazers have been showing up since you said that.
They've been showing up pretty much most of the year.
As long as you forget about that one game they lost by 60.
Yeah.
Every other game they showed up.
You know, sometimes you just have those type of nights.
Yeah.
They got more than one though, I think.
Oh, for sure. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We are still getting votes for the best basketball podcast. And if you want to vote for us three, and I guess Mike, even though you don't show up to work, hit the link in the description, man. Numbers on the board. Go ahead and give us that vote.
Come on now. We know it's already known worldwide. We just need that stamp of approval.
Exactly.
Sometimes you just need like something material, like the material thing that tells you that you are the best.
Right. So
you need physical validation.
Yeah.
So I'm trying.
Like some Grammy Award winning artists probably think they deserve a Grammy. They just haven't got one yet. They haven't got
been
the
nominated.
vote. Yeah, they haven't got the vote.
Yeah.
That's
Like Leo.
But do you think they need it? I mean, do you think that they think they need it or do they want it?
They want it.
Yeah.
Didn't Leo go a long way without an Oscar? We knew that DiCaprio was one of the ones, but he didn't get one.
Or like Beyonce
recently.
hasn't won one, but she's always
Hasn't won what?
Hasn't Beyonce not won?
She better have.
Didn't Jay-Z say Beyonce always is like one of the
Boy, I think Beyonce one of the record holders.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's never won Album of the Year according to
Album of the Year, my bad. That was what it was.
Omaha
Album of
team.
the, I knew it was something.
Okay.
I knew Jay-Z had defended her on something where he was like, she win Grammys, but she ain't never won Album of the Year or something like that.
She'll be okay.
Yeah, for sure.
We team Beehive for sure though.
Absolutely, but she'll be okay. If she the record, would you rather have an Album of the Year or be tied for the most Grammys ever?
I don't know, man. Macklemore's doing pretty good right now.
Is he?
No.
I ain't heard. Maybe I've been under a rock. See, he called me off guard. Is he? Yeah. So Auntie gonna be okay.
She is, especially when she doing those shows overseas and they be giving her like $20 million.
I like when they do that though. I like when they Drake said a line like that, like drop an album. What did he say? Years go by, they call it a sleeper.
Oh yeah.
That, you know what I mean? So when you don't win album of the year, that's usually what it means. They try to just, I feel like Beyonce is also in that Drake lane of like people who dominated their era.
Yeah.
And people just kind of get tired of
It's
seeing
like the
them
voters
win.
fatigue. LeBron.
Exactly. And then years go by and they, like the way people talk about Lemonade, the Beyonce album, that should have been album of the year, sound like. But they didn't appreciate it at the time because they so focused on seeing somebody fall off that they missed greatness. And then they got to go back and re-listen. And then it's like, you see? Kind of like, LeBron. The Heat era, Kevin Durant with the Warriors. And in real time, people just wanted them to fail so bad. And now
Jokic gonna go through that?
Who?
Is Jokic
People
gonna
are
go through
arguing
that?
on Twitter right now that we're going through Jokic voters fatigue.
Really? That's always see him as the favorite to win MVP.
I think it
Shea
just
is-
shifted to Shea. Yeah.
Shay's the betting favorite. I don't know if that matters to you, but
Nah.
they got Shea number one at the moment.
Oh wow. Because I mean, he did win 3 MVPs in 4 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, dude is dumb, and he's still like I think he still, to me, is the MVP.
I'm not mad at the Shea stuff.
No, I'm not mad at it either.
Especially if they continue to be like one of the greatest teams of all time in the regular season.
Yeah,
Without Chet.
Yeah, without Chad.
And it's crazy because last year they was also one of the best teams we've ever seen too. So like they literally decided to get better.
I got it's not drop the mic, but I got a question that we can frame it as such.
What can we
We
name
dropping
this?
the Beecham.
The
The Beecham bomb.
the Beecham bomb. Okay.
Feature bomb. I did say that one day I will break some NBA news. It might be minuscule. So-and-so signed a 2-way deal, but I'm going to break something eventually.
Hey,
Knock on
just
wood.
like that's why you got to keep networking.
I do
building
gotta
up your
keep
sources.
networking.
You got to go to those Adidas and Nike parties.
He don't want to do that.
I don't
That's
wanna
that's
do
what
that.
Shams willing to do. That's
You
why
want to go?
Shams get
I get the
drop.
text. You want to go to the after party? I'm not going
Well,
to
when
be
it's
there.
home, when it's home, I feel it. That seemed like some out of town stuff.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
whatever
because
reason.
when I'm at home, I just want
You
to
want to go back home. Yeah.
But San Francisco, we coming to All-Star, man. So if you got some parties, hit us up. The question is, who is a guy that may have started off slow this season that recently you've been enjoying watching?
Oh, that is
All right, y'all think I got it. The reason I say this,
yeah, because clearly got
Michael Porter Jr. started off very slow.
Yeah.
And in the past month or so, he's been on fire.
Well, I think Jamal Murray also picked it up too. I know
Good time for both, yeah.
Yeah, they both of them have really picked it up recently. Russell Westbrook, I think their team besides Jokic kind of got off to and Christian Braun, but Russell Westbrook did not get off to a hot start.
Peyton Watson been real good for them.
Yes, he has. But
that's a really good question, KB. Let me.
I'm trying to remember. Jordan Poole has been phenomenal as well.
But he's been good all year.
I just don't know how his start was.
I want to talk about Michael Porter Jr. a little bit, though. He's averaging, in the last 13 games, he's averaging 20 points per game. He is shooting 56% from the field, 46% from three. That's just like the perfect version of Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Like, you gave him all that money. What he's doing right now is what you pay him for. 20 points, amazing efficiency. Even though, his free throws are even up. Remember, early in the season, he was not hitting free throws. It is at 77%. So I just want to tip my cap to MPJ amongst all of the trade rumors that him for Zach LaVine, him for Jimmy Butler. It's like, no, I'm actually here and I'm doing the part that y'all wanted me to do. So I want to give him his love.
He's always been the great fit for playing next to Jokic. That's why I'm not really a fan of them trading him for Zach LaVine. It just doesn't seem like a great marriage like it is with him. Zach LaVine is good, but he's just not a 6'10" sniper. He's
a 6'5" sniper.
Yes.
Who can put the ball on the floor and create for himself like we seen against my Knicks. Zach LaVine closed that out. Him and Kobe White was hitting some shots, man.
Kobe White really gave y'all 9 threes.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that game because
it didn't feel like it, did it?
No, it didn't.
Yeah, okay. I'm making sure I ain't the only one. Cole Anthony is my answer.
Okay.
Cole Anthony.
From DMPs to playing great. I like that.
Yeah. I like players like that. I talk about it all the time. His teammate, Goga Badatse, who is the same way, where it just feels like they can play 6 minutes and 17, and injury happens, and now they're playing 28 minutes, and they find a way to be effective. And Cole Anthony, I like it for young players to be able to fight their way back. You know what I mean? So Cole Anthony for sure.
Tyrese Halliburton, for me, is also one of the obvious answers. He definitely had a very rocky start, but I think these last 5 games from him has been pretty amazing. Getting back to his all-star form.
Yeah, his last 10 is 19 points per game, 9 assists, 4 rebounds. He's shooting 48, 39%. If he just did that for the rest of the season, 19 points, almost a double-double, and shooting efficiently, then you feel pretty good about him. He just turned it on a little bit too late. As far as I'm only thinking about all-star.
Yeah, for all-star vote.
But right now they're the 6th seed, though, so they found their way into it. And they're slowly getting more healthy and more healthy. Good win here, good win there.
1 game over 500 now.
Yep.
So
which is a good threshold to me mentally on the team. It's like, let's just get above 500.
Yes.
And
that's what the Sixers are going through.
You could damn near host a playoff series above 500 in the East, boy.
Exactly. So it's like let's reach that threshold and then take a deep breath. And
shout out to Detroit though.
Let's get it going, man.
Let's talk about it.
They've been on their shit, man.
Like they really. A team that was projected to take a jump this year, obviously, after losing 27 straight games, you obviously knew there was no way they was going to replicate that. They've taken a significant jump to where they are looking like a playoff team sitting at the 7th seed. I think they are a playoff team. And I think they, in all season, I think they did all the right moves. They got Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr. has been great for them. Malik Beasley has been great for them. They literally went out and got everything that Cade was struggling to operate with, which was no spacing. And they paid a premium for it, and it seems like it's really paying off for them.
Yeah, and that's with the last couple games with Jaden Ivey being out, with the fractured leg and everything. They've been able to put it together. I mean, the Malik Beasley acquisition, just to have a sniper like that on the team, it just opens up the game so much more for Cade Cunningham. And I just think that pretty much every one of the vets that they brought in are doing something positive.
Yes.
Even though you paid Tobias Harris 2 years, $52 million, like that contract looks good right now.
Yeah.
Just because last year they won, 18 total games? Mm-hmm. They're at 18 wins right now.
Yes.
And it's not even an all-star break. So I think it's been cool. New coaching, obviously, they care a lot more than they did last season under Monty. And it's been a really fun watch, regardless of whether or not they're a good team or a bad team or in-between team. The fact that the Pistons are fun is just something we ain't said since Blake Griffin? Since Blake Griffin was there?
That team wasn't even fun.
I think Blake was fun.
Blake was fun. Right? Yeah,
and Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose was coming off that bench.
You saw he had his buffs on at the thing.
Those was his buffs?
Yeah.
Oh. I did not peep.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was really nice glasses. I didn't know that they was buffs.
Yep.
I'm last night though, I will say your boy Simons, I was watching that, like, is he about to do it? Because he hit the long 3 to cut it down to, what was it, 1? Mm-hmm. Then Detroit went down and hit the 2 free
I
throws.
saw somebody post a stat yesterday that he's 7th all time in most 30-point games without a free throw.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a stat right
Which
there.
I think is 7 he has.
That's a stat right there. Wow.
Who y'all think is Kevin Martin on it? No, Kevin Martin is the opposite. He had the game with all the free throws. That's an interesting list though. But yeah, I did see that same stat.
I didn't see the whole list, but I'd be interested to see who.
I didn't see nobody else on the list. I just saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of trying to keep the Blazers alive in that game. But yeah, they found the way. That was one of those games with Jalen Duren as looking like that man child. Jalen Duren. Isaiah Stewart is also a guy that's giving them a lot. It's going to be interesting to see how they maneuver around the deadline. Yes. Are they buyers? Or are they a little bit of...
I think they're more of a stay pat team.
Stay pat?
Yeah, because realistically, what are they buying on?
Making the playoffs.
Like, I think they can make the playoffs with what they got. I don't want to see them swing for a star. Unless it's like an MPJ. If they can, for whatever reason, I don't really think they have anything the Nuggets really want for an MPJ. But that's probably like the one guy that I think fits the timeline.
I don't think every trade has to be a star. I think there's ways that you can get involved. Is it a 3-team trade or something out there? Is that a piece of a trade that's you can get something off the back of the truck? You know what I mean? Because Jaden Ivey is now hurt. And a lot of the vets that y'all do have, they're a little expendable. I think they're on short-term 1-year deals. Malik Beasley is like on a 1-year deal, if I'm not mistaken. Tim Hardaway Jr., he had the crazy stat line last night too, right?
26 and no stats.
Nothing else? Yeah.
buckets.
Boy out there playing rec. So, just when I say the deadline, I just mean finding a way to improve, because when you have a chance to make the playoffs, I think it's important that you go after it. But I don't think that they should be in a position to where they just sit comfortable, because you do have a Sixers behind you. You do have the Pacers are still in that mix right up in front of you. So, you gotta try to find a way to make sure you in that mix. I want to see them in the playoffs is what I'm saying. That's all I'm really trying to say. I do too. I want to see them in the playoffs, not just to play in, because they are a team that fights. They have a guy who can change the game for them. And it's been a while. When the last time we seen them? The Blake Griffin against the Bucks? Yeah, that was...
they haven't made the second round of the playoffs in like 20 years.
Damn.
And this was a team that in my childhood, I hated.
Oh, yeah, because they
was always in the playoffs, and they was always getting to conference finals and everything like that. And they beat the Lakers and my boy Kobe Bryant. So shout out to the Detroit Pistons, man.
I think I'm with you, though, as far as them being buyers this deadline. Again, it don't have to be go get Jimmy Butler. Right. But it's like just adding some more talent. Because as good as Tim Hardaway Jr. can be, it's like it's nothing about Tim Hardaway Jr., even though he just gave you 26. You're like, oh, he needs to be here come April. And he still does have a sizable contract.
Really good contract.
So it's like
a guy like Herb Jones.
If he becomes available?
Yeah, if he's available, I would like to see them make that phone call. Depending on Trey Murphy. I'm thinking the Pelicans are the biggest team that's selling.
Trey Murphy is the safest guy in New Orleans right now on that team. The way he be hooping. I don't think they move Trey. I think everything else could get moved before him. But all we want to say is that it's cool when the Pistons are good. I made a tweet a little while ago because this current logo, they've had iterations of this logo for a very long time. I'm so tired of this one, though. They ain't been good with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, if we make the playoffs, let's just do a little something extra. Next year, we come into a boom. We got something different than the fucking circular
Go back
basketball.
To the Piston with Grant Hill.
I think everybody will be in agreement with that, except for, I don't know who would say no to that. Yeah, but somebody's obviously saying no.
Go back to
they only can throw it back once every year.
Go back to Dan. You don't have to go to those colors, but there's also the Jerry Stackhouse Pistons, who still had the red, white, and blue, but it was a Piston.
There's a girl on TikTok who does these.
Yeah, she does.
The rebrands?
And she rebrands logos, and they be looking amazing. She did a Pistons one that looked crazy.
She does a really good job.
The NBA, there's somebody right there who seems like she's great at graphic design. Y'all got somebody right there that can cook up some great designs for you.
Another team that we should talk about, because we talked about them a lot, the Sacramento Kings.
They're back, baby.
Last night was such a crazy game.
I fell asleep. It was such a long game.
It was. But
it was like midnight our time going into double overtime. So that means it's 1 o'clock if you're a Miami Heat fan at home watching your favorite team.
Hey.
Got work in the morning.
I lay my ass in the bed and got a notification. Jaime Jaquez.
Triple-double or...
Yeah. Triple-double.
Well, he took a questionable shot with like 50 seconds left.
I also saw the free throws.
Yeah. That corner three with like 50 seconds left, I was just like, y'all up 3. Why you take that? Like, it was in transition, too. Right. I was like, just get it to Tyler Hero. Let's just be patient.
Let the all-star work?
Like, let's be patient and let's just work slowly. The time is in our favor. I'm speaking in like the hindsight, not hindsight, but like from the perspective of being Hame Hockett.
Yeah, I feel you.
This is his best game of the year because he has not been good.
No.
So for him to go 16, 12, 5, and it's 5 steals, 10 assists is pretty cool. But again, like I said, I fell asleep.
Bam was not great in this game either.
Has he been great in any game, it feels like?
It seemed like it seemed like every shot he took was a doink. Like it was just like he did have one possession where he got the rebound. He came up in transition. Has he pull up 3 and then cash? And I was like, oh shit. But then
As he pull up 3, Ash. Okay.
But then after that, it was kind of like
I ain't see that highlight.
I wouldn't say it was. He kind of like it was. You know, it was a slight hezzy, nothing crazy.
But on the Kings' point, Doug Christie got them hooping, man.
Yeah, they look rejuvenated.
They definitely look rejuvenated, and you've seen the comments from who made somebody made comments about because he played here and yada yada yada. We just respect that he knows what he's talking about. It's like, damn, y'all taking shots at Mike Brown because he didn't make it to the league. That's crazy.
Damn, that's crazy.
A player said that?
Yes, bro. They are
Who could that
5-game
have
win
been?
streak.
Let's guess.
All right.
It wasn't
and
Keegan Murray.
while you guess, I'll look it up.
It wasn't Keegan Murray.
I don't know, it wasn't DeRozan.
I feel like if De'Aaron Fox says anything, I
would've
can't
been-
miss it,
Yeah,
right?
no.
So it wasn't De'Aaron Fox.
Maybe Malik Monk.
Malik Monk is a good one.
It might have been Malik Monk. I'm looking
Trey
it up right now.
Lyles. With Trey Lyles.
Trey Lyles is more of a laid-back type of guy.
It was Malik Monk.
Process of elimination, baby.
We're bought into what Doug Christie is doing. We're all just bought in. We all feel good and confident in what he's saying. He played before, so I think he knows how to say it to us a little bit better than players or the people that didn't play the game before us.
Oh, so is he taking a shot or is he easing the shot off by saying, I'm complimenting him without dissing Mike Brown because nothing Mike Brown could do, he wasn't in the NBA.
It's all about perspective, brother. I don't know.
What's your perspective is what I'm asking.
That's like a bah, bah,
Yeah.
bah.
Also,
He already dead, though.
I don't think
He gone.
a coach doesn't have to play in the NBA to be a coach.
No, he ain't say that though. He just
Yeah,
saying
no, he
his
said he
message,
respected more.
his message getting across more because I guess it's a little bit more relatable. That make a little bit of sense, but obviously there's a lot of great coaches that ain't necessarily and hey, let's be honest, there's some coaches that technically did make the NBA, but
Aren't good coaches.
Or ass.
or didn't have great careers. They just played in the
Yeah.
NBA technically, but if I asked you about something significant, if I asked you what team they played for, you probably couldn't tell me 3 of them.
What team did Kim English play for?
But you don't know
Coach
the
at
hell.
Providence.
You don't know who the
The
hell.
Denver
Kim is.
Nuggets.
No.
Detroit Pistons.
Detroit Pistons.
And was that it?
That's it. And then he was out of the league. He played overseas for
Name
like
me
10
3
years.
teams Ty Lue played for.
The Lakers.
Got
the
to start there.
Sixers.
Good one.
And
He played for the Sixers?
the Cavs.
He played for the Sixers?
Did he play for the Cavs?
I don't know if he played for the. I think I remember him in a Sixers jersey.
I don't remember that.
All right, let's see.
He played for a lot of teams, so you have a chance. But I
He definitely played for a lot of teams.
I remember the Lakers, the Hawks. I remember I think the Wizards.
He played this in this order: Lakers for 3 years, Wizards for 2 years, Magic for half a season, Houston Rockets for half a season, Atlanta for 3 years, Dallas, Milwaukee, and Orlando.
Okay.
That's it. Not that's it. That's a lot of teams.
Well, Orlando twice.
Orlando twice, 14 games in that last year. But back to Doug Christie and the Sacramento Kings, 5-1 under Doug Christie. You've lost that first game, and since then they've been picking it up. It's wonderful what happens when you trust your best defender to play real minutes. One of the biggest knocks I had on Coach Mike Brown is that Keon Ellis couldn't see the floor, and when
Yes.
he did, it was garbage time. And since then, Keon Ellis, last night he played 50 minutes, double overtime game. So, but still, a 17.6.
shot too.
See, I fell asleep.
Oh yeah, that corner 3. Yeah.
8 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 block. They're humming. I mean, they're hitting their threes, which is something. Like I said when Mike Brown got fired, there's a world where you see the Kings look better because their data just looks good. They just haven't been able to close. And since then, a close game, another close one that they were able to
DeMar
win.
DeRozan closed it out.
DeMar DeRozan is now taking threes in this last stretch. He's averaging 4 3-point
I was
attempts
gonna
per
say
game.
that game he hit 4 threes. Mike Brown probably like, why couldn't I get you to do that?
Thank you, Christian. But it's been good. It's been really good for them. And one thing that I thought was really cool that he did is y'all see he took them up to the top of the roof
I
of
did
the
not see
arena
that. No.
so they can see the beam. They were on top of the roof of the Golden One. Is it the Golden One?
I have no idea what the arena called. I'm sorry.
After a win, and it was
Invite me to a game and I know, damn it.
he told them, "Put your hats, put your gloves on. Let's go up there." And they watched the beam be lit, and I was like, "Oh, that's like good team +5 to team chemistry on some 2K shit."
Oh yeah. I like that. That's cool.
I like Doug Christie.
He might stick. I mean, interim coaches normally don't, Golden One Center, thank you. They usually don't stick, but
Did
the
you
way
know
he
it
got them
goes-
hooping right
No,
now.
I didn't. But I mean, yeah, if the players enjoy him, and especially if De'Aaron Fox, in a way, they're gonna get his approval. So if he approves of it and he's like, I'm with that, he's definitely gonna stick. And then De'Aaron Fox is definitely gonna be back a king. So
Yeah, I mean, when you say they tuned out Mike Brown or he lost the locker room, all you need is a new voice. I mean, we've seen some other guys step up now. Not only, DeMar DeRozan shooting threes, and we know De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis going to do what they do, but Keon Ellis just played 50 minutes, like you said. He hit the free throw to send it to one overtime.
Yeah.
He got fouled in the shot, which is a nice play that Doug Christie kind of drew, because I did not expect Keon Ellis to get that ball right there. But
Bam, why are you fouling on a 3-point shot?
Kentucky, because didn't De'Aaron Fox do it when Mike Brown got fired?
Yes, yes, he did.
Who was that? It was Jaden Ivey.
Yeah,
Jim
it
Wilson
was.
with Jaden Ivey. It's a Kentucky thing. Calipari. Teach him how to close out, man. But Trey Lyles has had a good performance in one of these games. I believe he had like 18 or something and a half.
And he was
the other
playing
night.
great defensively. I don't remember that game. I forget who was against, but he played great.
Yeah, I forget who it was again. So it says a lot. Malik Monk has had a couple of games now. We know what Malik Monk is capable
They was
of.
trying to
Kevin Herter and Keegan Murray were shooting the ball the other night in the same damn game. They both were splat out. And so something is reigniting this
And
team.
Devin Carter's back. So shout out Carter.
Devin Carter. Who he jump over? Was that Terry Rozier? He jumped and like
I don't know.
leapfrogged somebody. I think it was Terry Rozier last night.
Malik Monk had a play where he was flexing on Tyler Hero because they was hunting him on the last possession of the end of the quarter. And Malik Monk clamped him up, and he was like,
I love
and they
Malik Monk
bumped him.
because they had the one game where De'Aaron Fox didn't play, and Malik Monk was just the point guard. He had a double-double with assists and everything. And they
oh,
got
yeah,
that
whenever De'Aaron Fox is out, Malik Monk definitely
I
takes
got
his
us,
game
right?
to another level.
I did not realize until you just said it how much Kentucky is on the floor last night. De'Aaron Fox, Bam, Malik, they were, first of all on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
You got Tyler Hero, Trey Lyles. It's a lot of Kentucky last night, and I might be forgetting somebody.
DeMar DeRozan, since Doug Christie took over, is averaging 22 points per game, 3 assists, 3 rebounds on 51% from the field. For that, he was averaging 18 points per game. Slight increase in his production.
Yeah. The biggest thing for them now is to keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
Take it game by game. That's all you can do at this point. I think for Doug Christie, he's playing with house money. So, as long as he's able to show some type of incline with his team, that's going to be good for him. I really do and have wanted to see Doug Christie get opportunity. I never thought it was going to come with the Kings, though, because I didn't think Mike Brown was going to be fired. But, yeah, they should take it one game at a time, and I think they really got to trust and believe how much basketball is left. We're also seeing them in the rumor market. They are one of the teams that's linked to Cam Johnson. How? Why? I don't know, because I feel like they got a Cam Johnson and Keegan Murray.
One of them hit shots more often than he
Keegan
missed.
Murray. Keegan Murray is not making shots, but I would still have him on my team. Shit.
No, for sure. But there was a maybe I'm gonna look it up. Maybe it was automatic NBA.
Because who are you giving up?
It would have to be
Trey Lyles, Kevin Herter.
Trey
shit?
Lyles, Kevin Herter contractually, and then after that, who knows? I don't know who's
Now, what
worth
is your
what
rotation
picks.
looking like? Because you got De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk, Cam Johnson, Keegan Murray, Sabonis, Keon Ellis, Devin Carter. That's a funky
It's good problems to have.
DeMar DeRozan. You might be coming off the bench.
I don't know, man.
Oh.
Seemed like somebody asked him to do that, and he got fired for it. No, it was automatic NBA. He got the worst shooter so far this season. Have y'all seen this list? The worst shooter in the NBA this season has been,
Oh, wait. The worst shooter in the NBA has been
and this is calculated for the people at home.
Is it Russell Westbrook?
Pull up
No,
jump shooting,
no,
catch and shoot jump
it is,
shooting, free throws, and long
I
twos.
think I did see this. It is my boy. He's young.
Yes, the first two guys are rookies.
Yes. Oh my
Or
goodness.
the worst
Scoot?
two shooters.
No. It's rookie. Scoot is
Oh,
not
yeah,
a rookie.
you said rookie.
Just say some rookie so my brain could get rewired. Ancient generation type style. So we got Donovan Clingan,
Alex Sarr.
Alex Sarr, Reed Shepard.
Not Zachary Richardson.
Zachary Richie says the second worst shooter in basketball.
Oh,
I'm thinking
shit.
of the worst one. My mind is blanking because I see. Oh, the Hornets. It ain't him.
He don't have enough reps.
Okay.
But he would be dead
So,
ass
I don't know,
last.
but that's-
He's awful. He's shooting wise.
John Salone was the guy I was thinking of because he was just
Area 51. It ain't the big fella.
Damn.
Stephon Castle's the worst shooter in basketball.
Wow.
And again, this is calculating pull-up, jump shooting, catch and shoot, free throws, and long twos. Then you have Giannis. And the reason Giannis is here, his free throws are so damn bad. It's so bad. His pull-up three-point shooting is not that bad. His catch and shoot is not that bad. He's actually a positive long-range, mid-range shooter. We've seen that this season, but the free throws are a minus 52, so that's why he's here. Then you got Keyshawn George, just young players.
That's crazy. I was going to say Keyshawn George.
But the fifth worst shooter in basketball this season has been Keegan Murray. That's why I bring it up. He's been that bad. Then your boy Brody.
What is Giannis shooting from the free throw line?
Really, yeah. Look up the actual number. I don't got the actual number, but it's really, really bad.
Yeah, I'm curious because like I know he's been usually underwhelming, but it's usually not awful.
Mm-hmm. Well,
let me see. My
Worst
phone
league,
is lagging.
man.
Okay, I got it then.
I'm
you like
typing.
Mike.
I'm tired.
He's shooting 60% from the free throw line.
Damn.
He's attempting 11 and he's making 6.5.
That's real tough.
Last year he shot 65. The year before 64. Before that he was a good 70. But you know,
Things fall off.
he's
Russell Westbrook
shooting
will
a
shoot
lot of
85%.
them though. He's
He's
shooting a
shooting 10
lot.
of them.
Yeah.
Shooting 11.
I want to talk about OKC because they're on a 15-game win streak as long as
Yeah.
you forget about the in-season tournament loss or the NBA Cup loss. And they just played against the Boston Celtics on the middle of a Sunday, and they did that.
They did.
And I think that fourth quarter, that was some amazing
Some special
basketball,
stuff, right?
bro.
And then they got the Cavs tomorrow,
Yes, and that's
so
the
Knicks,
game.
Celtics, Cavs,
and then Knicks again.
and then Knicks again.
So they got a crazy schedule, and they just been walking through it. It was a great game because you got to basically see Coach Mark Daigneault take some adjustments. In the first half, they were getting to the paint. At one point, they had Porzingis and Luke Kornet on the court together, and it's like, let's dump it down low because OKC, one of the flaws they have is that they're just a small team. In the second half, OKC didn't allow them to get many paint touches. I mean, they scored 27 points in a half, and the Boston Celtics haven't played that bad in a single half in, 2-3 years?
Yeah, and Hartenstein was amazing. I thought he did a great job owning the paint. I thought J-Dub was great defensively. And I think one of the best performances of this game was Lou Dort in that fourth quarter.
Yes.
Lou Dort was lights out in that fourth
That's
quarter.
your boy.
He damn near outscored the Celtics in that fourth quarter himself. Like, Lou Dort was amazing.
And he couldn't hit a shot before the end.
Yes.
And in that fourth quarter, he turned it on and hit 3 in a row. It was like, oh, that's the end of the game. The final score ended up being, a 13-point win, but it was way closer than that.
Yes, it was.
Way closer.
These are the games where it's like we had the conversation about the MVP ladder where, you know, Shea. I mean, this little stretch in itself is gonna be telling because again, they don't have Chet, who was playing at an all-star level, it felt like. And the way that they're able to just have, you know, one of the things we're gonna talk about the Derrick Rose thing, but one of the things that didn't get enough mention or credit was when Tibbs said it was an honor coaching him because you could see the fear in the other team. Like there was just a certain amount, and Joe Kim Noah even said it too. Like he inbounded him the ball against Milwaukee for that game-winning shot, and Derrick Rose said some shit to him like, watch what I'm about to do. And I feel like that's the level that Shea is kind of getting into. Where like I watched the Thunder, even when they played against my Knicks, when we kind of felt like control of that game, even against a Celtics team. And then who do they play today? The Cavs.
Cavs tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Even going into that game, I'm feeling as a certain confidence that I have in the Thunder in these matchups because I know that they're going to have Shea. And again, in that I almost call it the NCAA tournament game. And the what is that thing
NBA
called?
season tournament.
The cup. The game against what was that? The Bucks.
Yep.
It wasn't the prettiest, it wasn't the best, but they allowed to have that game and that performance. But for the most part, 95% of the time, when I'm watching the Thunder, whether they're up 8 or they're down 6, there's a certain poise that Shea has that I think trickles down to the rest of the team, and it is some of the best basketball to watch. And it makes me confident for them in the playoffs because they have almost every single thing. And this is, again, with Caruso in the lineup, out the lineup. This is with Chet in the lineup, out the lineup. Hartenstein was out of the lineup, or Hartenstein was out of the lineup. Now he's back. I think they're, 21-1, 20-1
Yes.
with Hartenstein playing. Aaron Wiggins gives you a performance. Casey Wallace makes plays. J-Dub is J-Dub. I swear every time I'm watching the game, it feels like J-Dub does not miss shots that are needed. It's a very hard thing to explain. It's almost like Sean Livingston when he was with the Warriors. It felt like when Sean Livingston checked in the finals and in the playoffs, and I know he missed shots.
Yes.
Statistically, I can see that he missed shots, but it always felt like when I am watching, he ain't missing a damn shot. And I feel like J-Dub at a much higher level than Sean Livingston on those teams feels that way. It's like a loose ball, and they recover it, and they throw it around, and it ends up in his hands at the top of the key, and the net just splack. It's the perfect switch I've ever seen. So, like, I'm looking at the Thunder, and I don't look at them as a cute team no more. That's what they kind of were last year. I look at them as, like, the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see. They're a Goliath to me now, and they haven't done it at the playoff stage or whatnot. And I think that I don't really need to see it before I give them that. Yeah, I'm going out on a limb, and I know majority of the time we want to see it in the playoffs. And it could backfire on me, and I could, have to eat my words. But I feel confident that this team is a Goliath team.
No, especially from that performance against the Celtics. I thought they did a great job of forcing live turnovers and getting down in transition. They had 22 fast break points in that game. Even though I know the Celtics had almost had the same amount of turnovers, but it seemed like the Celtics didn't capitalize on them. They had double the amount of points off turnovers than the Celtics. So, like, that's one thing that I think they always will have. They are very active in the passing lanes. They get in your face, and they're gritty, and they force a lot of turnovers. So
there's only two things that scare me about OKC negatively. It's that they're not dependent on that, but boy, is it a big part of their identity, forcing turnovers. So it's like in that playoff series when you go against, like last year, Luka, a player that if there's going to be turnovers on the team, it's just him. Yeah. They're not a high turnover team. What do you do then? And then the other thing that scares me is the three-point shooting. Yes. But if somehow they can remedy the defense not forcing turnovers or have a crazy shooting stretch, I got no complaint. Like, this team can win the damn championship.
The shooting thing is interesting because I think they do have competent three-point shooters.
I think just everybody is having a down year right now.
They also have the guy if those games get down cold. But it's just one game, but turning over the Celtics is not nothing to gloss over. Yeah. The Celtics, for the most part, are a team that protect the basketball, they value the basketball.
Like bottom 3 in turnovers per game.
And they do whatever the hell they want to do. So making them turn the ball over spoke volumes to me.
I thought they did a good job making Tatum a little uncomfortable, too, sometimes. They would randomly double him.
They did the same thing to Brunson. Again, another guy who's usually comfortable with the ball. But, they threw blitzes at him at certain times out the game, and it's one thing to blitz, but it's like an aggressiveness that they
randomly do it. There's not something they're going to do every possession. They just randomly throw it at you, and it definitely catches you off guard.
One of the more peculiar things is that Jaylen Brown didn't have a single stat in the second half.
Yeah.
He didn't have a rebound, an assist, a point, a free throw attempt.
He didn't have a foul?
A nothing. Or maybe foul, but I'm talking about the
extra stats.
But it's like, and I didn't recognize that watching live. That was something I saw in a tweet after. And I'm like, wait, no way. And I looked at the box score. I'm like, what he did in the first half is how the game ended.
I think they switched Lou Dort on him.
Oh, that's all that happened? Put him in that torture chamber?
I guess so.
I do want to see them be aggressive at the deadline, though. Like I said an episode or two ago, I want to see them be unfair. I just feel like when you have this, and shout out to Sam Presti. It's not me telling him how to do his job because he's done a phenomenal job. But I just feel like when you have this window that they're having, and you've been this good, you've accelerated this fast, I would stack all the cards. I would stack the deck. Let's be. There's no such thing as a perfect team, but damn it, let's go try to be perfect. We went out and we got Hardenstein, we got Chet coming back. We went out and we got Caruso, we got Dort, we got Cason Wallace and J-Dub and Shea. We got Isaiah Joe, Wiggins. Let's go get Cam Johnson.
That's so interesting.
Let's make them throw in Day'Ron Sharp in the trade too. let's just do everything we can do. You know what I mean? Like,
I love that idea, but also I think about it. I'm like, damn, their chemistry's so good. Like, just breaking it up, it always seems a little iffy.
You're not breaking it up that much.
Well, guess what? Their chemistry was great last year, and they traded Josh Giddey away.
True.
Yeah,
they'll find a way.
I don't think they got to do a trade that involves 5 guys.
True. Yeah.
You giving up Aaron Wiggins or Isaiah Joe with a young player and some picks, I think you'd be okay.
I think a lot of people just recognize it like, hey, this is the business of it. Yeah. None of us are guaranteed to be here by the end of the season.
They did right by all the guys too. Like they paid Aaron Wiggins
and they paid him. Yeah.
They did what they were supposed to do. You know, like KB said, it's a part of the game, part of the business. You got paid, you secure, and these guys have names now.
Yeah.
Whenever you are a player, like you want to be that. You want to be that. Like if we doing a deal, you want a team to want you.
And I feel like will want Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe.
Yeah, so for sure. Besides the 76ers.
That's
man, could they use somebody like
that? They could use some Isaiah Joe right now.
Besides the 76ers. Are they y'all favorite?
To win it all or to be
Or
the
is it the
Celtics?
Cavs or is it Celtics? Or
No, right now for me, it's probably OKC.
To win it all.
Yeah.
yes, to win the NBA
I
Finals.
like that, Derrick, because I think that we get too hell-bent on like, well, this team won it last year, so we must give them the utmost amount of respect. And you was already hating them last year.
I wasn't hating on.
You weren't hating on them, okay.
I
So,
also said it
the
would be hard
3-minute
for
or
them
the
to
20-minute
replicate
clip.
that season.
Yeah.
We talked about a lot of
It is the age of parity, too, so history says that they won't repeat, and it has to be somebody new.
Yeah.
So they're your favorite too?
Boston is still my favorite.
We talked about some good news. The Kings on a winning streak, the Thunder, and I felt like we talked about one more team. Maybe I'm tripping. I want to get not necessarily get a little negative. That's what I almost said, but the Dallas Mavericks have lost 5 in a row.
Yeah.
You lost Luka,
Kyrie is now out for 2 weeks.
and now you
Can
got Kyrie.
I say, I don't like that every report Shams put out has this big graphic that says breaking news.
Felt like somebody get traded.
I thought somebody got traded.
Yeah.
It breaking news, Kyrie Irving. Like, yes, it sucks that he's out for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
but damn it, I thought something major happened. I thought that if you're going to do breaking news, out for seasons and trades.
Traded. Yeah.
No more breaking news for anything else. We can report it because we need to know, but no more graphics that said breaking news. Please, I damn near had an aneurysm when I got it on my watch because I don't see the tweet. I
Yeah.
see the graphic.
Yes.
I'm like, breaking news, Kyrie Irving. Whew, I mean, yes, it sucks, but damn it ain't as bad as I thought it could have been.
So yeah, the thing that my problem is my back has been hurting, and his injury is a
Dislocate or
ball
displaced disc or something like
something with the disc in his back, and it made my back hurt even more. But yeah, they've lost 5 in a row. Their last win was in December, the end of December against the Suns, a couple of days after Christmas. But yeah, they lost to the Trailblazers. Then they lost to the Kings. Then they lost to the Rockets, the Cavs, and now the Grizzlies yesterday by 15. So they're struggling, man. And as we talked about it before, the conference, the Western Conference is one of those things where you can't really play games, man. Or before you know it, you'll be out of it.
Which is
luckily
crazy,
they're at the
was,
6.
They was just so good.
They were.
They was like,
They were my second favorite team out west as far as like championship.
yeah,
goes.
they were literally starting to really put it all together. And without Kyrie or Luke, there's no shot creation. Like it's
Najee
PJ
Marshall,
Washington,
but damn.
Najee Marshall.
Yeah.
It's just Jaden Hardy. So like you just kind of just gotta throw stuff out there. And unfortunately, without those two, they just demand so much attention that it's kind of hard for them to create shots.
Yeah.
He has a bulging disc in his back.
Yeah, it sounds awful. And this is gonna be a super scary team though, because they're not gonna fall out of the play-in, right? At the bare minimum, they're gonna be a play-in team. So if they end up being the 7th seed and then they get Houston in the first round, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Please don't put that
I'm
up.
just saying, we see it happen. Teams have an injury-riddled season. They find a way to make it, and then they make some noise.
Yeah.
And
this is
Lakers
a team
of a
that
few
can-
years ago.
And this is a team that went to the finals last year. So
Yes.
this is like legitimately a team that you do not want to face as those 1 or 2 seeds, especially if you're the Rockets.
Let's paint a picture. We ain't gotta see the Rockets. We'll just do what it is today. Who would y'all take in a series with the Grizzlies and the Mavericks? Round 1.
Assuming health for both teams.
Yeah, because Luka and Kyrie gonna be good.
And
I would take the
Ja.
Mavericks.
Yeah, I would take
That
the
would be a
Mavericks.
really
Mavericks
good
in 6 would
series,
be my
man.
guess.
Yeah.
Really good series there. What if the Nuggets creep up or they
Nuggets.
drop? You get the Mavericks versus the Nuggets in the first round.
Because like
That's the point that I'm just
Yeah.
making is them falling could make some intriguing.
For sure.
The Rockets versus the Mavericks, I think everybody's taking the Mavericks because
Yeah.
they're still a young team. But like, if it ain't the Rockets,
yeah.
it could be the Grizzlies, the Nuggets. You could have LeBron and the Lakers against them in the first round. We could have some shit.
No, yeah, it could be definitely a heavy.
If
it's
they
gonna be a
fall out
heavyweight
too
battle.
low, you got the Thunder versus Mavericks.
Whew.
Shit.
First round.
Hey, good job, OKC. You had a hell of a year.
Here goes
Here's
Luka
your
and
prize.
Kyrie. Luka and Kyrie, hungry, ready. They feel all the doubt. Man, that'd be crazy.
It does suck though because earlier in the season they had showed that they were at least competent enough without Luka to stay relevant. But when it's without both of them, it just makes it too rough. Again,
Yeah.
1 or 2 weeks, so maybe not that big of a deal. But like
But 1 or 2
bulging
weeks
disc scares me. Is like Is that something that's going to linger for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
That he might be able to play through, but still maybe injured? That scares me.
Backs are one of those things, man.
Yeah.
Backs are something.
Back injuries are not something to play with, man.
I'm surprised they even gave it a timeline. That's how crucial the back be.
But I would trust the experts to know more than us.
For sure. We got the Suns made some big adjustments to their big three, having Bradley Beal and Jusuf Nurkic come off the bench in favor of Ryan Dunn and the Plumlee. And they won against the Sixers. And it didn't start off good. They were actually really bad in that first quarter. And I was ready to put a tweet out like, yeah, it's over. But they rallied. Bradley Beal off the bench looked pretty damn good and pretty damn comfortable coming off the bench.
Devin Booker only had 2 points in the first half.
And he was 1 for 11 at one point in the game.
Yeah.
But they made it work.
They made it
won
work.
the game.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. And I don't know if that's more indication about them or indication about the 76ers.
Paul George also played like shit.
There was no Embiid either.
Ryan Dunn does that to people. So I don't know. I think I need a couple more games about Bradley Beal coming off the bench before we make some real adjustments and like talk about it.
Out there.
Huh?
He was doing a lot of smiling.
Found his joy.
I called for this. I asked for this before the season started, man. So I'm glad to see this. Or maybe it was when the season first started.
And then this morning a quote came out where he said he needs to be addressed because he holds all the cards. Which is so funny.
Oh, man, bro. This is my favorite time of the year because you get quotes like that.
And he's not wrong.
He
holds all the cards.
He holds all of the power.
Yes, he holds all the powers in any deal.
He's not wrong at all. But again, it's just silly. Because again, like I've said before, the trade clause is good for if you don't want to be traded to who's a team that you wouldn't want to be
Utah
traded to?
Jazz.
If you don't want to get traded to Utah Jazz, I feel you. But at the same time, if they have a way to go get Jimmy Butler and you tell them I don't want to be traded and you got to go back to that locker room and that team and the fans know that they could have got Jimmy Butler, okay, it sounds good. You're not going to want to be there. I just don't believe in anybody being traded. Like, you've been traded. The trade is ready to go through, but it's not going to go through because you don't want it to go through. And then you're going to go back to the team like, what's up, guys? Coach, what up, boy? James Jones, we got practice tomorrow? I just don't see it. So it's like he does hold the power, but at the same time, it's like, does he hold the power? Because do y'all really think Bradley Beal will get traded and then say, I'm waiving my no trade clause and I'm finna come back to this like, y'all finna keep me. Y'all ain't going nowhere. I just
that would be the ultimate power move, though.
I don't see Bradley Beal as that guy.
Like, I don't want to play in Miami.
But I don't think he want to play in Miami. But I don't know.
Do you think it even gets to that point where I feel like even if they start negotiating, let's say with random Utah, before they even talk about, yes, we want to do the deal, they're going to say, Brad, Utah is there. And he's going to be like, nah. And then he's going to hang up the phone.
Well, yeah, Utah for sure. But it's just like.
The Bulls are the betting favorites
Where did that
to
come
land
from?
with Bradley Beal.
This is a third team.
Just people talking shit.
Or
it's really like if you're going to do the big deal, it needs third and fourth teams involved.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of teams just don't want that Bradley Beal contract.
Yeah. I mean, I would take the Bradley Beal contract here in Chicago.
For draft capital.
We need more.
Yeah.
We need capital.
Because we're getting off the Zach LaVine contract, I'm guessing, in this deal.
Yeah.
I would want, since I'm taking on another bad contract, some draft compensation.
Yeah. And the reason I say that, like the Bulls, they didn't want Zeke Najee's contract. Najee Harris is crazy. Zeke Najee's contract.
I was like, what the hell?
And people are like, why would they want Bradley Beal's contract? They don't want Bradley Beal's contract. But if there is some additional draft cap, I'm okay with Bradley Beal being on this team for 2 years if that means we get a future
it's only,
first.
A year and a half, technically, right? Got the rest of this year.
No, he has 2 more years after this year. He has 2 more years.
Yeah.
He has a player option on that last year for $57
I know he got
million.
a player option. I didn't know it was 2 more years after this.
Yeah, no.
But it would have to be insane draft capital, which I feel like is unrealistic. I would want to take that contract. I would want multiple first-round picks.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why it's going to be hard to get a deal done for him.
Because they don't really have that to trade. They traded it all. They can get rid of like some swaps and change some swaps with one of their picks is owned to the Pelicans, I think. It's like a swap. You could get rid of that. But like, that's why the Beal trade or Jimmy Beal trade is almost impossible. Because you need the third and fourth team to say, hey, Bradley Beal, we're going to take you, but we don't have any future assets to give you. We can't trade Ryan Dunn as a future asset. No way. He's too integral to our team already.
So Bradley Beal is 31 right now. He got the next year, so that he'll be a free agent in like 33. He's still gonna be a good player. Bradley Beal finna run it up. He gonna be one of those guys that like they have their trivia career earnings, and they gonna be like, Bradley Beal made what? He made $500 million.
Oh no, for sure. Bradley Beal is gonna be up there. You know about cashing that check.
Yeah, I like Bradley Beal too. I just for $57 million is where it kind of
That's really what it is. He's not a bad player.
Yeah. But shout out to the Wizards for taking care of their guy.
I mean,
shout out to him and his agent.
everybody knew that when that happened that trade was fucking ludicrous. They were already really bad, and here they are.
Yeah.
He's just right place, right time to end up in Washington and being so true to them that they wanted to give him that much money, and then that front office gets fired a year later.
Yeah.
Right
But I
place,
will.
right time.
That front office can say we got off the Beal contract before y'all took over. So they got it
can't
off
say that.
fast.
They did
they
that.
signed him and then they traded his ass.
Yep.
So
Not their problem anymore.
no.
They more of a template of what not to do.
Let's open up the floodgates now that we talked about the Suns, though. The trade, the rumor mills, the trades, everything that's going on. How y'all feeling? What's intriguing? What y'all want to see? What teams are y'all hoping to be buyers, sellers? Talk to me, man. This is honestly my favorite time of the year. I love this shit.
I mean, for me, Houston is a team that I also should be kind of buying. I think they have the assets to probably go get someone who can help their offense be a little bit more consistent. Memphis, I feel like they always one piece away. I would love to see Ja next to somebody else. Desmond Bane is great, but I don't think he's like star level great, if that makes sense.
Oh, well, guess what? As you said that, I got a notification about 10 new trades that could happen. I'm going to read you the trade, and you tell me.
And the Grizzlies are in it, I'm guessing.
The Grizzlies are the first one. Grizzlies trade Marcus Smart, Vince Williams Jr., and a 2026 protected first-round pick, lottery protected first-round pick, for Kyle Kuzma.
No, doesn't move me that much.
This would be a good. Kyle Kuzma is a guy that I feel like played his market off. I feel like a year ago or maybe it was 2 years ago, I wanted Kyle Kuzma to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I wanted him to be a Maverick. I wanted him to go here. I was, man, I'm sure my old YouTube videos had him in every single trade video going somewhere. I just now I think about the trade market, Kyle Kuzma is not really a name that comes to my mind. And I don't think Kyle Kuzma is a terrible basketball player. I actually think he'd be a much better basketball player in a place like the Grizzlies. But when you just name that package, do I want to give a Vince Williams in a first?
I really like Vince Williams.
Yeah.
Eventually, he'll play basketball.
I don't know if I want to give a Vince Williams for Kyle Kuzma. You know what I mean? Now if you talk me into John Conchar, Luke Kennard, Marcus Smart in a first, now we talking. But I don't know if I want to give a Vince Williams or a G.G. Jackson and I'm getting back Kyle Kuzma. I think if I'm doing that, I kind of got to swing for it and go get Jimmy Butler, a playoff riser who won't have as much responsibility on his shoulders as he did with the Heat.
For sure.
If Jimmy Butler goes to the Memphis Grizzlies, that's going to be a much better team than majority of those Heat teams that we've seen him carry.
Yeah.
You're going to have Ja, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., Zach Edey. You got depth off the bench with Scottie Pippen Jr., Brandon Clark, whether he be in a deal or not, Jalen Wells. I would like that. Or Cam Johnson. But Kyle Kuzma means we struck out on every other wing on the market. Mm-hmm. And, again, I would want to do it just not including my Vince Williams guy.
A Zach LaVine trade to the Detroit Pistons.
Okay.
It finally happened. This time it will go through, I
or,
guess.
Or he might say he's hurt again.
Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., Bobby Clintman, and the 2027 first-round pick that is top 5 protected.
Take
I don't
the
know
protections off the
I don't.
pick.
What
Take the protections off the pick.
What does your rotation look like? Cade, Zach,
Yeah.
Asar.
Yeah.
Who is now your power forward?
Asar's your 4, man.
And then when Jaden Ivey comes back, I don't know. Cause
I like Zach LaVine on this team, but with Tobias Harris still being there, and I don't think a deal can happen without the bulkiness of that deal.
Tobias has to be in it because of the contract.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway is only half of the Zach, so I don't know. I don't like this one.
I don't like it. I don't like it for the Pistons.
I like that we get a pick back, baby.
I just don't. It just for the Pistons. It just looks.
It's not the right deal for the
looks
Pistons.
bad.
Yeah, no, it's not the right deal.
You have a bunch of guards out there.
The next one has Brandon Ingram ended up in Detroit
Okay.
for Isaiah Stewart,
Okay.
Tim Hardaway Jr., Bobby
Uh-huh.
Clement. Sorry, you keep getting thrown into trades, brother. Wendell Moore and a 2028 top 10 protected pick.
I like this one more than the Zach one because you keep Tobias Harris. You add a wing scorer. If it doesn't work out, y'all can go y'all separate ways. And I think it could take some pressure off of Cade Cunningham. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I like that trade a little bit.
Thanks.
And I want to see Brandon Ingram play some meaningful basketball.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool though.
Yeah, it's
I
not-
tried my best to give it a little some words, but
I don't.
Derrick
Isaiah Stewart is.
Derrick said it best. It's cool.
Isaiah Stewart's been so good for them that I don't know.
Isaiah Stewart's been too good, man.
So like
I'm
I think
trying to draw him into
I
a
just don't
Bulls
know-
The
trade.
Grizzlies
I don't
and
know
a
if
few
they
other
would-
teams have been told not to trade for Jimmy Butler.
Damn.
Chris Haynes reports.
oh shit.
Jimmy Butler has no interest in being traded to the Grizzlies.
Oh.
There you go. Into that.
Oh, maybe his rationale is that if I do go there, they won't have the money to resign me
Yeah, I don't know.
to the money that he probably
I
wants.
feel like that's his best case scenario.
Damn, I thought that was the number one team for you, Jimmy.
And if it's coming from Chris,
Is he forcing his way to
he's trying
Phoenix?
to force his way to Phoenix. And it's just anyway. Next trade. Cam Johnson, Day'Ron Sharpe to the Indiana Pacers for Obi Toppin, Aaron Nesmith, Johnny Furphy, a first-round pick in 2028, top 4 protected, and 2 second-round picks.
You said a lot, but very
Yes.
fast. I don't know.
Day'Ron Sharpe and Cam Johnson to the Pacers for Aaron Nesmith.
And Obi Toppin, Johnny Furphy, a first-round pick, top 4 protected, and 2 seconds.
Oh, I need one more. I need one more first if I'm the Nets.
Really?
I like Day'Ron Sharpe.
I love Cam Johnson. I'm afraid that what he's doing right now is a fluke, and somebody's going to get finessed.
Yeah, that's what we have to do. We
Well,
took,
you also
we
have to
took
look
all
at it,
those
yeah.
seconds. I need 2 for this one.
You also got to look at it. He is on the net, so like, it's ultimate green light. So like,
But no, he's
those
never
stats
been an
are-
ultimate green light guy. He had value with the Suns.
No, he did have value with the Suns. That's why he ended up there in that deal. Like, I don't. If he didn't have value, I don't think he would have ended up there.
No, I mean the bulk of the trade was Mikal Bridges, really.
Yeah, but I would like that for the Pacers.
I need one more pick, man. I took all those seconds. I need y'all talking about 2 more seconds. Give me my first round pick because if y'all don't get them, the Grizzlies will. That's the other thing too. All these teams want them. OKC is hot on them. Pacers want them. The Grizzlies want them.
Okay, so
So
you just
come
throw
on.
shit at the
Yeah.
wall.
So matter of fact, play games, Indiana. OKC got so many that
You just leverage now.
they willing to give me 2.
How
So
Jimmy
see,
Butler going to say I'm open to all 29 other teams and be like, actually, nah, not the Grizzlies.
28.
just because he probably heard that shit was building up. And he
Well, I got
wanted-
to trade for him to end up with the Sacramento Kings. You think he going to say yes to that one? It's DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Huerter, and Devin Carter.
Oh,
Shit, if I'm the Heat, I'm like, yeah.
same. But
I'm the Heat, I
According
like
to this report, the Heat really liked Devin Carter in the draft,
100%. A lot of people did.
and they wanted to draft him, but obviously didn't get an opportunity.
Bill
so.
Simmons says the Jimmy Butler trade is going to happen this week. All of the reports for Jimmy is just coming and coming and coming right now.
Wasn't Bill at the thing last night?
He was.
Big wrestling guy.
But
Jimmy Butler to Sacramento. Thoughts?
I like it for the Miami Heat. If you can, did they get a draft pick in this?
Nope.
Too? No
Oh, they
draft.
didn't?
Devin Carter is the draft pick.
Oh, right. Yeah. So I like it with Devin Carter. And then what was the other name?
Kevin Huerter, DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah. You get
Yes.
some shooting.
And they get more win now players, which is something that they want, so they can stay competitive. So
Yeah.
they'll be happy with it. I think both
Mid-range
sides.
central, DeMar DeRozan, Bam Adebayo. It's all mid-range jump shots.
All mid-range jump shots.
I got
But,
one more. So let's say they're not buying Jimmy Butler. They're selling De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs for Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, Trey Jones, a 2025 first-round pick, the Bulls one, top 10 protector, a 2027 first-round pick, a 2026 swap, and 2 second-round picks.
If I'm giving you that much draft capital, I'm taking Sohan out of this.
Yes, that's. Yeah.
I hate to do that because De'Aaron Fox is really that damn good. But you got to pick one. You either want these young players or you want that draft capital. But you're not finna walk away with both.
Yeah.
Because Jeremy Sohan, I really like on the Spurs team.
No, I do too. When he said Jeremy Sohan, I literally was like, ooh, you got Harrison Barnes back.
Oh, I'm sure they want that.
That's crazy. You could have Harrison Barnes back.
It was just some trades that was drawn up. Let's hit the panic button, though. Let's hit the panic button. Who are some teams that should be panicking? I'll give you some player or some teams you tell me, should they panic? 76ers,
Yes.
14-20. Still just when they have Joel Embiid in the lineup, they look decent. They went on a nice little stretch there. And then when he's not there, they basically cannot win at all. Should they panic?
Oh, they should have been panicking from the beginning. This has been a team that's been ass all year. Like, it hasn't even been any – there's not many bright spots for this team where you can look at it and say it's been really good. It's just been bad most of the season. And unfortunately, especially when you're talking about the offseason they had when you gave Paul George a max deal and there's still 4 years left on that deal, it's not the way you want to start this all off. Yeah, they can bounce back next season, but you kind of want to hit the ground running when you do a deal like that.
I'm not panicking. Because what is there to panic over? What am I get you not having the season that you want, but what is panicking doing for them? Like, panicking is like, we going to make a move. What move they finna go make?
Well, yeah, essentially they don't really have much wiggle room when you know about making moves, but I do think there is some form of panic in that front office.
I don't know. Everybody's kind of tied up for the most part. You're going to have Embiid, you're going to have George, you're going to have Maxey. So as long as you got that, you just really need them to be on the floor. This is, to me, the typical situation that Philadelphia is in. How can we keep Joel Embiid on the floor as much as possible without putting ourselves in a situation to lose him for the important times of the season?
And I think you're gonna lose Yabusele this offseason.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, there's a high risk of that.
I don't know the other contracts, but I know for sure Yabusele's on a 1-year deal. He's outplayed that $5 million. He's going to demand a much
That
longer.
was always in your fate, though.
Yeah.
Unless he was just going to keep rocking with y'all because y'all gave him the shot. That was always in their fate. So, I mean, what are you going to do about that? The only other option was he was going to not be on shit and not play it.
Yeah.
Then we wouldn't be having the conversation. But I think you have these guys. You just really need them to be healthy. You got to continue to take it one game at a time and position yourself to, I guess, be in a play-in again, or really, really have a strong February or March where you can play yourself into potentially escaping the play-in. But the only reason I'm not panicking is because what is panicking going to get them? I feel like a panic move right now would mess things up even worse because
Trade Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, you're going to trade Tyrese Maxey?
No.
You're going to trade Joel Embiid? Then the panic, you don't panic and say, hey, Caleb Martin is available. As much as I like Caleb Martin, like, I just don't know your avenues. So you have to kind of just.
And Paul George don't have a market right now.
Yeah. You kind of just got to blame everything on the injuries and say, hey, when we healthy, we rock it. So let's just, that's why I'm not panicking.
Next team, Golden State Warriors, 18-17 on the year. And they are 4-6 in their last 10. They were at one point the 2 seed in the Western Conference, and now they're all the way down to number 8.
This is a team that also, for me, I think, just because they started off so hot, for them to come back down to earth so fast to where they're pretty much a play-in team, sometimes even depending on standings on the outside looking in, they should definitely be panicking, especially when you talk about Steph Curry's window. We don't know when it's ending, but he's hinted a few times that it will be ending at some point soon. So you do only have a few more years of trying to capitalize on it, and he's still very good. It's just, what do you want to give up?
I'm panicking, KB. I really am panicking. Because unlike the Sixers, they were the 2 seed. They were playing high-level basketball, and then they dropped significantly. And some of the moves that we saw them rumored to be involved with over the summer that they didn't want to partake in, some of the guys that they was holding close to the chest aren't performing at the level. And then it's like, if you don't do anything, that's fine, but then you're going to go into the offseason again with these contract negotiations with Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know what has happened this season for either side to go anywhere. Do you think Jonathan Kuminga goes into the offseason wanting significantly less money?
No. I think
he damn sure ain't playing like a $30 million man, but I don't know if he also feels like he about to go and now give them a bargain deal either.
Yeah.
And I don't know what any other desperate young teams who have money want to do. The Pistons or whoever, the Hornets. I'm going to let you chew and I'm going to speak, but.
The Kuminga thing is that him and his agents are going to look at those games where Steph Curry did not play and say, hey, I gave them 30.
Right.
So when he goes out in the open market, his film is going to say, like, hey, with the right opportunity, you see what I can do, and that's gonna be enough for them to still ask for that same amount of money that they were asking for before the season.
So if that's the thought process, then I'm really panicking because as the Warriors,
I don't think he's on the team February 6th, bro. I don't think he makes it.
Right?
I don't think he makes it that long.
You got to capitalize on the value of him, I guess.
And he's injured at the moment, which is bad, but it's not nothing super. It's gonna hold him out for too long. But
more so than capitalizing on his value, I'm not paying him $30 million when I have Steph Curry.
My producer on my other show, he is a diehard Warriors fan. He texted me Sunday night after their loss against, is that the Kings?
Yeah, where they got their ass bust.
And then he said, at some point, I want Steph Curry to ask for a trade.
Or was that the Cavs?
No, I think it was the Kings.
Okay.
Either way, he is a diehard Warriors fan. And he said that. And I said, hypothetically, would you follow him? So whatever team he got traded to, he said 10,000%. If they're going to continually signal to him that they'd rather keep the future value than give him the best shot to win another championship, he has every right to demand a trade.
I mean, I've said this a few times that
they called for Mike Dunleavy's head and Joe Lacob's head. Like, hey man, the window shouldn't be closed just because the team ain't performing well. Trade them young guys, man.
I don't want to see Steph Curry legacy have to be that because these dudes don't know what the hell they doing.
When he was drafted, the team was worth $300 million. Now they're worth like $7 billion.
Yeah.
So
if there's anybody that has the leverage to say, fucking trade the young guys. Mm-hmm. Even if we don't win, give me an opportunity to win. It's him. He's the one guy. We've seen players a lot worse than Steph Curry ask for the exact same thing and get it. So one of the all-time greats is saying, hey, man, I'm not going. He literally said, I'm not going to be playing for that much longer. And he can still give you 30, give you 30 more often than not. Not trading Jonathan Kuminga or fucking Brandon Podziemski is wild.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't work, hey, Steph, we put you an opportunity to get something.
Well, also, a thing that Draymond said that happened this offseason, there was a deal on the table to get done. And I don't know, Draymond Green is the one that said this deal doesn't really help the franchise in the future. It might help us now, but for the future, this is going to set y'all back. I guess he had to agree. He the one who red lighted the deal.
That's not weird to y'all?
That Draymond Green was the one that declined the trade?
Hey, man.
I guess Draymond Green is they vocal leader, so I guess they go to him for that type of stuff.
I'm not sure, but again, I'm trading whoever I need to trade because I'm just not paying Jonathan Kuminga $30 million unless I plan on trading Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see Steph Curry's legacy be what it is to have to go to another team.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to operate around him at this point. That's crazy, man. We're talking about y'all could have Larry Markin on this team right now. Larry Markin on this team right now make me that's intriguing.
Yeah.
And that was before the extension too. So it's a bargain deal. He's made like $16 million.
Yep.
It's crazy, bro. But instead, Brandon Podziemski come do something, and he doesn't.
Is Klay Thompson still on the team if you go get Larry Markin?
No, I think the reason they were able to go get Larry Markin is because Klay Thompson gave them that flexibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Klay tried to get you to buy a little bit more for Steph Curry, even with him being gone. And like, nah, we're not going to do it. Next team, Minnesota Timberwolves. 18-17 so far this season. They got a win last night. I guess we were filming our other show when that game was
were
wrapping
watching
up.
A little bit of it.
But Anthony Edwards scored the last 15 points for the team. Big step back to close. He was
also
talking
just
trash
scored 50 points in a loss
against the Pistons. He sure did. Should we be panicking?
Shout out to all the community, too, because they tagged me in, like, this one picture where he was guarded by, like, 3 or 4 people, and he had the ball. And I was saying, like, he, like, talking about him. He ain't trying to pass. He ain't saying on the pass. He like, look. I'm like, damn. Derrick, I'm going to let you have the flow because you really been on their ass. They really been disappointing you. You ain't like that they did that trade now.
No, I didn't like it at the time that they did it, and I definitely don't like it now. I just don't think there's nowhere where they're not panicking as a front office when you make that type of deal. And it's kind of like you break up with your girl and you see her go level up to somebody that's way above your level. She messing with the dude that's in in movies, making millions. She's flying in private jets and all that. That's kind of what they going through, seeing Cat go to New York.
I almost made a joke,
And
man. I'm so glad I did not make that joke. I'm going to keep my comments to myself, boy.
Because Cat out there going crazy right now.
Yeah, he is.
And I feel like the front office probably looked at it and was like, with Cat being where he at right now, is there a world where he is better? And I think they probably made the decision on no. That's probably why they did that. Cat went to New York, and Cat has fucking blossomed into a whole nother form that I don't think a lot of people probably knew that he had in him.
We talked about that at the Bulls game.
Yes.
Because he was just unguardable.
Yeah. Yes, he was unguardable.
This
If
is the
only he
He
version
was
of
already
Cat
unguardable.
that, like, you remember when he was a sophomore and every GM wanted him
Yes.
as their best player?
This
Is
the
what
version.
is happening
Yes,
right now.
and I think it's just the physical, like he's strong as hell.
But he
he's
did not have.
physical.
He had a great year last year.
Yes, he
Yes, he
did.
did.
But it's like
He
he went to another level.
Yeah, he did. He was complimenting the team and finding a way to be effective in a new role, and was like, that's the ultimate player. And then was like, oh, I ain't got to deal with like a crowd at front court no more. Bet. Watch this. I learned some things.
And I think he's literally like one of the most exciting bigs I think I've ever watched play
He
basketball.
told me this at the United Center.
I did.
Wow. Wait. Say it one more. Let me
He's-
digest
this
that.
is
one
the
more
Karl
time.
exact
Anthony Towns is one of the most exciting bigs to ever play basketball
No. Say what you said for.
that I've watched.
Yeah, you said that at the United Center the same exact way. We was talking about something, and Darrick said, yeah, man, I think Karl Anthony Towns is one of the most exciting bigs I've ever seen play basketball.
Wow. So,
And
okay.
I was like, I'm not mad at you. for
Off
that.
the top of your head, who else is ranking on that?
Shaq and Dirk.
That's it. And then it's Shaq, Dirk, Cat.
Yeah. Because I think Tim Duncan.
Jokic?
Oh, yeah, Jokic would be. Yeah, no. Jokic, Joel, Cat will be on there.
Okay.
Because Tim Duncan is good.
Wimby?
Tim Duncan's really good, actually. But he wasn't, I don't think he was like, I think when you were young watching Tim Duncan, he could have kind of been a little boring. But
Sure,
he was effective and he got it done. I can't deny that.
But
when you talk about
Wimby?
Wimby he's getting into that category too.
Okay.
I wasn't mad at him.
Because I think what Cat does at all three levels is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Like, he will post you up. He'll hit him. He could post you up. He could drive past you on the 3-point line if your feet too slow. He can create his own shot from the 3-point line. I think defensively he still can hold it down.
Mm-hmm.
I just think offensively there's just nothing Cat can't do.
You also got to remember Derrick was a late bloomer into watching.
True.
So, I mean, I love Cat, and I think he's one of the best offensive centers, or bigs, but that early 2000s, man, you talking about Kevin Garnett, like Tim Duncan, they was bringing the damn ball up the court.
Kevin Garnett, yeah, is a bad omission, I think, because he was doing some ridiculous stuff. Too.
Yeah, like just insane. I'm also not gonna lie to you. That's how I feel about Anthony Davis. What you saying about Cat? Like, Anthony,
did he not mention AD?
No, Anthony
yeah.
Davis.
AD.
Like, oh my goodness. I'm still thinking about early Anthony Davis, just Kentucky. Anthony Davis, the first overall pick, averaged less than 15 points. He had games, we got 9 blocks. And he was just 6'3".
Yeah.
His story alone is
His
like
growth is crazy.
6'3" into this tall ass kid who like grew into his body super fast, and like it didn't bother him. Most people grow into their body and they feet all big, they skinny, and they uncoordinated. Nah, Anthony Davis had the time and the shot block, and he was able to dominate games without scoring, without shooting threes. Then he got it to the NBA, and his offensive game just like
that Pelicans version of Anthony Davis was some of the best basketball you could have watched
ever.
Because like he was literally going out there getting 40 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 blocks.
Yeah.
And you would be like, damn, he did that. He was like the ultimate fantasy gem. He was the #1 fantasy player because he would just put up those kind of stats.
Yeah, get drafted 1-1.
So how you feel about Cat? That's how I feel about AD. Legitimately.
I could see that.
Back to the Wolves, though.
No Aldridge either.
Cat's more exciting to watch than Aldridge.
Okay.
I like Aldridge, but Cat's on another
Sometimes
level.
you got to put your biases aside.
Yeah.
He don't do that often, so grab me by surprise.
I think we didn't really recognize how important Mike Conley was to that team last year. And the fact that he's falling off a cliff this fast is crazy. it's made Rudy Gobert be an already bad offensive player a lot worse because, again, they don't have a positive playmaker, a super positive playmaker. And I don't think Rudy Gobert has been good this season defensively.
Yeah.
I mean, not to the level that he was last year, not even close to the level that he was last year. So if we have our starting point guard being out with just oldness, badness, and I mean, he lost his starting spot to Dante, and we'll see what that looks like. They end up winning that game. And then when Rudy Gobert being nearly a nothing offensively and also not elite defensively, it's like, where does that really put you?
And then Randall's also a bad fit.
I think that's kind of tied into Rudy a little bit. I think some of the effort of the team and the lack of focus and frustrations have spilled over in different parts of the floor. And Rudy is anchoring the defense, but you have to be on a string. And we saw the Timberwolves last year, they were different defensively.
Yes,
and I think it was outside of Rudy. Rudy got the back end for sure, and he's going to hold that down. But there was a connectiveness on the perimeter as well and just a communication level that I don't think they have right now, man. And that's what I told y'all. They went on a winning streak and everything a few weeks ago, and we talked about them on here. And I was like, that's all cool and dandy, but I'm not changing my position because this team is flip-flopping. You go and you lose a certain amount of games, and I forgot what Anthony Edwards was saying in the locker room at that time those weeks ago.
No identity is one of the things that he mentioned a lot.
No identity.
And he said they was playing soft.
And they was playing selfish. Everybody was playing for self. Then they went on a winning streak. We talked about it up here. Guys felt a little different. I still held my stance. And then now it went to I'm not trying to pass the ball. And then they win last night. So it's like they're just kind of flip-flopping. We're not really seeing a consistent identity, I guess I'll use the same word, of the Timberwolves. And it sucks because I really liked this team last year, man. Yeah. I really liked them. That was so dope to see them be this good team, solid team, and then they emerged in the playoffs and they took out the Nuggets and they were right there in the Western Conference Finals. Man, and to see them kind of be here now, I just feel for their fans and the Pacers fans, two conference finals teams who just don't hit the same. And I know the Pacers have been playing better as of lately, but it's still.
But at least for the Pacers' sake, they can say we still have our guys that we made it there with. With the Timberwolves fans, they got to look at the fact that Cat is gone. And Cat was a big piece as to why we were so damn good last year. And unfortunately,
that's why I feel for the Timberwolves, though. They have something to pinpoint. The Pacers, it's tough for them because they've done everything right. They don't have anything to say, this is what happened. The Timberwolves fans can at least say, man, our GM was thinking too hard. He was trying to be too clever, and he traded, and we have that to pinpoint. This is what went wrong for us. The Pacers, we're just sitting around like, damn.
Yeah, but also it's like, I don't know if Pacers fans are like, yeah, we really the big dogs out east.
Yeah. No. I don't think so either. But I also don't think that they thought, damn, we finna be struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know how. I just don't think Julius Randle could be a good number 2 on a winning team. That just doesn't.
I guess it depends. What's your definition of winning?
Yeah, like I think he could do what he did with the Knicks, obviously. But like, what's the ceiling of that? This team has big.
We saw the ceiling of that. The ceiling was we had to go and get Jalen Brunson to be our best player.
And I just don't think Julius Randle was built for that.
It's a weird market for him this offseason. Maybe the weirdest market in basketball.
He'll be a bull.
No, he won't. Because we're not going to trade nobody, so we won't have the money to bring him in.
He's going to be a bull, man. Sign and trade.
You saw what they did yesterday when they won against the Spurs. They not trading nobody.
Sign and trade. Pat will go to the Timberwolves.
They doing the opposite of tank.
That's a win for them, I think.
Them boys are not trying to tank. They trying to win.
Hell no. Zach LaVine made a little post and everything after that win, too.
Yes.
That's when you know vibes are high.
Vibes are high, man. Jello song after the win against the Knicks in the locker room. Vibes are very high. And when vibes are high, you usually win a lot.
Yeah.
You saw the Pistons. Malik Beasley on Instagram Live, like 7 of the last 8. That's when the vibes are high. There's nothing you can really tell a team.
Kobe White dunking on Vic.
Yes. Come on, man. And I think that was impressive. We didn't watch that live, obviously, because we were shooting. It was the finish before that. I don't know if y'all saw that. He got to the basket. Wemby is there super high off the glass.
Yes, I did.
And then the next play, he dunked. So it's like 2 back-to-back challenging Wemby possessions. That's my fucking guy, Alec Jacoby White.
Yeah.
Cool. A little socially awkward.
He cool. No, just playing. I rock with Kobe White. But still wearing them big-ass LeBrons from last
That's
year.
the only – even on the statement jersey, whatever they're called, the game we went to, the white jersey with the gold, he had the black shoes. I'm like, bro, we got to get you another colorway, bro.
He liked
them bronze.
At least
a different colorway.
Let's talk about that night, man.
Yeah, let's talk about it. January 4th, they did Derrick Rose night. It becomes Derrick Rose Day in City of Chicago. every single year. And the Bulls gave him tribute, right? He officially announced his retirement this season, and they gave him a full day where it had pretty much everything you can ask for. Former teammates flying in from Africa like Luol Deng, or what they say, Switzerland for Aaron Gray.
Yeah.
That was about Aaron Gray.
Yeah.
Ah.
And if you went to, I don't know if y'all got in so late, y'all probably didn't go to the atrium where they had different monuments for him. It was his logo, and then they had pictures of great moments you could take a picture in front of, and they had memorabilia like old jerseys. It was really great stuff. And then at halftime, they gave a performance. It was, 25 minutes where you got Stacey King, Neil Funk, Joakim Noah, then eventually Derrick Rose giving a speech. They showed a short film for Derrick Rose, and the Bulls ended up beating the Knicks too. So it was actually the perfect night. But all three of us went. So let's chat about how impactful that was.
Let me get this out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to do what I was going to do because it was still end up being a great night, and I don't want to have any negativity wrapped up on Derrick Rose's night. Because Derrick Rose, like I said, on a linear show, love him like a family member, feels like a big brother. I only talked to him once, but still just got that love for him. I was very hot. And I know Derrick was too, because you just heard KB said he don't think we were able to see some of those things because we got there late. So funny story, audience. Let me tell y'all this. I leave my house extremely early. I'm excited for this. I'm waiting. I'm like a kid on Christmas, on Christmas Eve. So I'm like looking at the time. We asking each other when we gonna leave. I leave out well before. I've been going to Bulls games my entire life. Yeah. My entire life. Before Derrick Rose, during Derrick Rose, after Derrick Rose. Just always been going to Bulls games. Never had an issue with parking. I've been to Bulls playoff games and didn't have an issue with parking.
Concerts at the UC. Everything.
So I leave my house. My estimated arrival is 6:15, which means I'm there almost an hour before the game is going to tip off.
Mine was 6:05. I was 10 minutes ahead of him.
So I get there. I go to a normal lot. I've worked at the United Center with Stadium, so I know all the lots like it ain't nothing no more because I used to park in a particular lot, Lot H. But now I go into a lot like I usually do, and I get turned around because I don't have this coupon that they're talking about. And explain to me like, oh, just go over to the light, make a left, go get your coupon, you be good. Said it like it wasn't nothing. So I go over to the light, I make a left, and I'm going into this other lot, and I'm the last car, and he tells me, lot is closed. So I'm like, oh, here we go with this bullshit. I wasn't mad, but I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to go drive down another block. But I'm still thinking I'm about to be 40 minutes before the game. I'm going to be early. So I go, and that lot is full. And now it's becoming an issue, and I'm looking at my clock, and now the time is ticking and ticking and ticking. And now I'm like, oh, shit, like, I need to hurry. Like, I need to get my seat so I can, walk all the way there and get to my shit. And then it became, long story short, I left the house if my ETA was 6:15, I left my house at 5:30, 5:25. I didn't get into the arena until 7:55. Yeah. So I was in my car for over 2 hours, and a lot of that was looking for a park. And if eventually we had to go all the way to Malcolm X University, which is not far, but when you have all of these lots for the United Center, why do I have to park at Malcolm X College? And it was just so disorganized, and it pissed me off because it was Derrick Rose night. And I know we weren't the only people that had to deal with that. For sure. It was so bad. Me and Derrick sat on the phone. We was on the phone because I'm trying to make sure that he's going to be able to get to the lot that I'm at. And I'm trying to make, it was so bad that we were driving in circles, and I stopped at a light. And all the people who are running it are talking in the street, and they are saying like, man, yeah, they effed this thing up. They have the people who the crossing guard, whatever, or that working a lot. And one of them tried to blame Derrick, like, man, this Derrick Rose's fault. And I'm like, no, it's not. How is it Derrick Rose? This is United Center and y'all fault. The Bulls are worth billions of dollars. How is parking an issue? And Derrick kept saying, like, it ain't no way there's more seats than parking spots. And when Derrick said that, it made me feel like, yeah, like, is that a thing? Like, what is going on? I was so mad that I was going to come in here and go 1,000 times more harder, but the night ended up going on, and then we had to halftime, and so much love was in the air that it kind of settled me down. But then, yeah, it even took like an hour to get out of the parking garage at Malcolm X because it was like, I'm just sitting in my car.
So at some point, it wasn't even moving.
Yeah,
it was
just literally sitting there, just chilling. And it was just so bad that I'm like, bro, this almost ruined Derrick Rose's night for me because it got to a point where it was like, am I gonna have to turn around?
Yeah.
I didn't because we paid $500-600, but I had it in my mind like, man, I'm gonna be so mad that I told everybody I was going to this, and I might not be able to find a park.
Yeah, that's what happened to me when I went to the last White Sox playoff game. White Sox gave me free tickets. I got there so early. They didn't give me a parking pass, and I could not find parking. And I literally went home.
Oh, wow.
I just went home, and they got blown out. So it's like, cool, I guess. I didn't have to sit through that. But I felt bad because I got there. Somehow I got super lucky because I was there with 2 minutes before Darrick.
Yeah, if you hit a certain cutoff, you was good. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like my biggest, I don't want to call it regret, but if I didn't go into that initial lot and I would have just kept straight and went left, I would have made that lot. Right. But if I didn't have to get turned around with the coupon, that would have stopped me from getting cut off. I got cut off twice where I was literally turning and they was like, that's it. We can't. And I'm like, bro, twice in one night? I'm the last car?
And you know what was funny? When I was pulling into the lot to go into Malcolm X, a lady walked past, was like, hey, cut that lane off.
So you finally had made it?
Yes.
Or you thought you weren't gonna make it?
I thought I wasn't gonna make it.
Okay.
But she was like, cut that lane off, and she walked past me, and she was talking about, I guess she was cutting off people from coming in. I was like, oh, bro.
You barely made it.
I was like, thank God.
If you couldn't park in there, I don't know where you was gonna park it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
And then luckily, I ended up getting lucky. Somebody was pulling out their parking spot, and I pulled in. So I got to park on like row 3. He had to park all the way on row 5. So I don't know how long you was in there.
I think we were so long because the initial lot couldn't get out because there's so much shit on the street. So once everybody started rolling, it was good.
Yeah.
Once that, because you can see the levels below you.
Yeah.
Once I started to see that the cars moving, we never stopped again.
Okay.
Luckily, because I definitely was like, damn, each row gonna probably have to take its own. But no, it kind of just went and went and went. But yeah, I thought we were gonna have to turn around.
Crazy.
But yeah, shout out to you for leaving 2 minutes earlier.
2 minutes early. That's all it took. And I found one that I didn't need no coupon. I paid fucking ridiculous prices to get.
And I told Darrick I was willing to do that. If one of them said, man, we got 2 spots, man, just give me $100, I probably would have did it.
Yeah. I paid $60 for my spot.
Yeah, I
One
probably would have
spot,
did it.
$60. And it was a bad. I was locked in. I had to wait for people around me to go before I got. But it's like, yeah, they could have planned it better. I don't understand.
You have to be better because next year I plan on going to Derrick Rose's when they lift up the jersey to the rafters.
We might just have to buy parking passes early.
That or Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never understood the coupon thing. I'd never have needed that ever in my life.
No, I'm used to going. You got a spot.
Yep.
Here go my cash or here go my card. Go right there. And it's just that simple. It's
Yes.
always been that my entire life. This coupon shit, hey, man, don't do that
I didn't even know where to get one. I'm over here Googling United Center parking coupons. Nothing's coming up.
That shit was so bad. I was ready to take risks. I was finna just park my car and be like, whatever,
just hope that
whatever happens, happens.
It didn't get booted or
I know I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna get home one way. Y'all gonna write me a ticket. That ticket, I wipe my ass with that ticket.
But the day itself, after all of that, ended up being perfect, man.
Halftime was incredible.
Halftime was amazing.
Super emotional night. I had my issue with the Bulls there, but I have to give the Bulls credit because we talked about it before yesterday a little bit. Where like people don't understand the magnitude of Derrick Rose, and that's fine. If you wasn't there to witness it, if you just don't get it because you're not from Chicago, I have no problem with that. But I be seeing people saying little stupid shit, and again, I avoid it because I really give you 100 bars. I be like, it'd be the audacity. I seen one page, and it's like, you named your page after him. His career is never gonna be able. You won't be able to hold up a pencil to Derrick Rose's career, and Derrick Rose got all them injuries. That's the guy you named your page after. You try to talk shit about Derrick Rose. Good luck, because Derrick Rose gave Cleveland a lot of issues. Anyway,
Yeah, I just my thing that I said on the linear show is that I don't expect anybody that wasn't in the city of Chicago during the era and conscious to understand the impact of Derrick Rose on Chicago.
I guess what a great way to put it is that Derrick Rose was so good that guys like LeBron and D Wade was trying to come play with him. Like, that's how good he was. LeBron wouldn't have tried to come play with a bum. Like, they wanted to come to Chicago initially before going to Miami because Derrick Rose was that damn good.
I understand.
And he also felt he was that damn good
that he didn't need them.
He didn't recruit nobody. They was just trying to come play with him.
If you need any
Pause.
if you need any indication of how good Derrick Rose was, go ask somebody that guarded him. I was on Run It Back with Lou Will and Chandler Parsons, and this was after it was announced that Derrick Rose was getting his own stuff.
and they asked me, do I think Derrick Rose is a Hall of Famer? I said, it ain't a lot of shit I'm going to say no to about Derrick Rose. So I'm the wrong person to ask. And Lou was like, yeah, I think so too. He said it's only been, I want to make sure I get this right. There's only been a few players in my career that when we went against them, he didn't say fear, but I definitely didn't want that matchup. Wow. He said it was Russell Westbrook. He said it was his former teammate, Allen Iverson, and it was Derrick Rose. Those were the three. That's it.
Jeff Teague says that all the time, too.
So, like, people that played against him.
I've never seen a guy not say it.
Yeah.
They called it a Derrick Rose flu. But that goes to my point, what you were saying, where, like, if people don't understand it, when people are curious, if you missed it, you have every right to be curious.
Yeah.
But, like, the people that try to go out their way to hate on it and to talk negatively about it, you're choosing to be that way because your favorite player, whoever you're rooting for in the league right now, that's your favorite player, they're going to tell you about Derrick Rose. You have all of the evidence in the world. You don't need me to come up here and tell you about Derrick Rose accolades. I don't have to keep telling you he's the youngest MVP. Go listen to LeBron James speak about Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Go listen to Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant. I'm not talking about here and there. I'm talking about the main guys who ran the NBA. Go ask them about or you can't ask them, but go watch them talk about Derrick Rose. Go look at it's a reason Derrick Rose is the most beloved player in this generation, damn near, without having to be a LeBron James. He doesn't have a 15-year run. Derrick Rose, essentially, if we're talking about the real good years,
4 years,
was like a 4-year run.
Yeah.
2.5 years, basically.
Oh, that's like the MVP status.
Yeah, I was thinking of like him coming in as a rookie.
For sure. But yeah, the MVP status is even shorter. And he still is most beloved, most respected, and damn near influential, in my opinion, because him and Russell Westbrook, they really carved out that lane for the athleticism.
Yeah.
And at that point guard spot. And I don't think it was anybody better than Derrick Rose when it came to that. I think Russell had the longevity. Thank goodness, because he had the knee injury as well with the Patrick Beverley situation that he was able to bounce back from. But Derrick Rose was able to take that speed and weaponize it like nobody else.
Yeah, him, John Wall, Russell.
I think they really ushered in that lane.
Yeah.
Started with Derrick Rose.
Now you got John Morant coming in same way, relentless at getting to the basket. I also think he's a guy that other teams probably fear when they're going against him.
And I love to hear Tibbs say that. Like, it was a pleasure coaching against him, but then coaching with him, you could really see the fear in the other teams when we had the basketball because he was legitimately a problem, man. It was just so good to have all of that energy in the building. Tibbs was there, able to be there. Joakim Noah.
The Knicks even had their own Derrick Rose shirts that they wore.
Shout out to the Knicks.
Except for Landry Fields.
Yeah.
No. Landry Shamet.
Landry Shamet.
Fields.
Why did I say Fields? I don't know why. Landry Shamet, the only one who wore the
That
whole
was a
Knicks.
weird thing these two pointed out, by the way.
No, he pointed out to me,
pointed
and
it
I didn't recognize, and I was like, oh, he is the only person without the shirt on. Okay, so be it.
1-4-25.
Unfortunately, I want
They
one of those
forget
shirts.
about you. Got one?
I said I want one.
I want one too.
Because those aren't all of his numbers. He wore
23 with the Grizzlies because he wore that at
Memphis.
Good guess.
which we saw Calipari.
Yeah,
there.
his ass got destroyed on national TV against
And
Tennessee.
walked right
Then
past
2
us,
hours
and we
later,
was
he was at the
"What
Bulls
the
game.
And I'm like, maybe that's why he gets all the guys, because he's willing to do shit like that.
Yeah, hop
play a
on
game
a
in Tennessee,
PJ.
we lost, and I'm gonna fly all the way to Chicago.
It's only an hour and flight though. It ain't like he went super out of his way.
But he's gonna have to fly an hour back.
Yeah, and then he
if
did
they
his
have-
press conference like, we didn't do shoot around. That's why we lost. I'm like, damn, Coach Cal, you ain't go shoot around
He always
against the
say
number
shit
one
like that.
team.
He
in
be
the
like, we're
league.
young. You know what I mean? I have a young group of guys. We don't know how to win yet.
Yeah.
It's all on me. But I really enjoyed it. The short film was nice too.
It was nice. It was narrated by PJ.
Yes.
And my favorite thing is that the whole night was about Derrick Rose, but Derrick Rose made it about PJ. Do you want to be good or do you want to be great? And that was like, as a parent, that's like, it's navigating this world and all of that stuff. Derrick Rose feels like he's got it figured out with PJ and his other two youngins who I don't know their names.
And it was just a buzz in the city when he was playing.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he allowed Chicago fans to be able to talk shit. Like, you was able to really pop your shit to other fan bases as a Bulls fan at that time. Because, like, we used to bust the Heat ass in the regular season.
In the regular season, I'm glad
we could talk our shit during the regular season.
we ended the streak in the regular season.
Hey, hell yeah, we could pop it then. But then we're gonna play out. Now we know
We
LeBron.
look quality.
Y'all got LeBron, So like we can't.
Y'all
really
had to get a big three to take a shot.
Yeah. We would have been running the East if Bron ain't run from the grind.
Shout out to Derrick Rose, man.
Hey, is somebody else gonna create some buzz for the city?
Shout out to Derrick Rose.
One day, Derrick. One day.
I think it's slowly starting with Caleb Williams.
He's in my.
Oh, okay. Word.
Caleb Williams.
That person who's going to do that for the Bulls.
Caleb Williams, Connor Bedard, and Dylan Harper.
No, the person that's going to do it is in my boxers right now.
Ew.
What?
He's in my body. He's in my boxers.
Oh, like you.
I'm not waiting 18 years from maybe 24. I don't know when you plan on having kids. 24 years to get the buzz back.
Those, I think Caleb gonna add some buzz to the city soon.
New coaching
I
coming
was always
soon.
speaking about the Bulls. The
No,
Bulls.
yeah.
Caleb definitely is our guy. Connor Bedard is definitely our guy. We got to find our guy for the White Sox.
They're not even bringing Colson Montgomery up to start the season. It feels
They were
like.
going through rebuild. Had to go through a rebuild again.
Worst team in the
Miguel
league.
Vargas.
Let's get worse.
Miguel Vargas be the guy. But yeah, shout out to D Rose. Man, that brother nice. What I about to say? Oh yeah, I did like that part of the speech. My dad used to always tell us that because my dad is super hard on us with basketball, and my dad used to be like, "Don't think it's because it's basketball. You ain't gonna escape this. You're gonna be great. I don't give a damn." My pops literally said this to me one time. He said, "Because if you ain't got to be playing basketball, I'm gonna always have this intensity and have this expectation for you. If you're gonna be a limousine driver, damn it, you better be picking up LeBron. You're gonna be great at whatever you do." So when I saw Derrick Rose doing, you want to be good or great, I was like, damn, it sounds like my dad. Except I ain't never do what PJ and other kids do.
You ain't cry?
No, I cried.
Oh.
They're kids, we all cry, but. He said that they be catching him and be like, "You want to be good or great?" That's genius. I should have been doing that to my pops. My pops lacking around the crib or doing. I ain't going to work today. You want to be good or great? So shout out to PJ.
Does PJ still play basketball here in the city?
I'll be seeing PJ. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know he still went to school here.
I see him on the AAU circuit. I don't know what school he goes to, but I've seen his AAU highlights and stuff. He's tall as hell compared to
Yeah, he
his
is.
his kids in his class.
Did you play for Derrick Rose's AAU team?
I think he's still young. It's a high school circuit.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I didn't know if his team. I didn't know if D Rose went that low. So I know he had a team when I was playing AAU too.
He had a team. EJ
Yeah.
played for it. Team Rose.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The ancient generation.
The ancient generation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for part 2 of the book club.
Oh, you took the cover off.
My daughter took the cutter off. I really think that's why Mike is sick. He didn't want to do his reading, so he ain't had to be in on these
So I was reading a book and
conversations.
Dana was saying, it's just this app thing or whatever that allow you to kind of know what's going on in the book and to tell you each chapter without having to read it. Like I wonder if, and I'm like, listen, if anybody just don't want to read the book, just don't read the book.
Yeah, nobody's forcing.
So if Mike don't want to read the book, he ain't got to be sick. Just don't read.
So part 2 of the book is the decline of the play-based childhood, right? And he's talking about it. And again, if you want in, the name of the book is The Ancient Generation by Jonathan Haidt. And we're only on part 2, so it's not too late to hop in. And we talking 100 pages. You can read that in a day if you really want to. I actually had my highlighter this time around, so I got some notes, which is.
I just be right. Whenever I got notes, I just literally open up my phone and I just type them out, make sure I don't forget them.
So I'm trying to think about. Oh, okay. So one thing that they talked about a lot was called free play. And the way he defined it is the activity that is freely chosen and directed by the participants and undertaken for its own sake, not consciously pursued to achieve ends that are distinct from the activity itself. And a lot of this whole thing has to do with the free play of it all, where you want kids to get away from the screens and all of the other internet-oriented things and really get into playing by themselves without supervision. They don't want, and this is just his theory, you shouldn't have kids with adults supervision or making the rules. Just let the kids be the kids, basically, is the grand scheme of it all. And there are some things that I definitely don't agree with that I'm gonna talk about, but I like this second part of the book more than the first part.
Yeah.
It felt like the first part was literally just the intro. Hey, this is what I'm gonna talk about, and now he's diving
The
into
intro
it
is
and
like
say,
20 pages.
Yeah. And so where do y'all want to start?
I think you started off at a good point. A lot of the first stuff that I read when I was reading it, I thought about being a parent and implementing things and something that is going to happen in every chapter. But this part and the second part, I thought about that as well, being a parent and how you structure that. But a lot of it I seen myself in. And that was one of the things that I was really clinged on to reading this. I didn't realize how important a lot of things I experienced in my childhood made me be who I am.
Yes.
And when he talked about free play, when he talked about freedom, when he talked about a lot of those things and the importance of them, it really was wow.
Yeah.
Because we just lived our lives. We never looked at it like this who made me who I am. But when I looked at certain characteristics that he brought up of what makes people the way that they are, what mode they're in, discovery mode or defend mode.
Yeah.
He talked about, and I've always been a guy that's been in discovery mode without knowing because I was allowed to play. Like my dad didn't let us sleep in. My dad at 9:30, what y'all doing sleep? Get up, and me and my brothers and KB, if he was over, we go outside and go hoop for hours and walk around no park and do whatever. Same thing with my mom. My mom was a little bit more strict, but when I got to a certain age, it was just like street lights. Be in the crib at street lights, and we was just around the plex doing all types of shit.
I can't believe how universal street lights is. Because even he mentioned that in the book.
Yeah, it's just a signal of like.
It's everybody
we
lives
also
by
didn't have
streetlights.
phones.
True.
So it's like the street lights is the signal.
That's when
My
dinner's
mom-
going to be
yeah.
ready.
And that's when it's too dark.
Yes.
When the street lights come on,
It's dark.
it's a sign of it's dark.
You got to be in front of the house at least.
So you can still be outside when the
But-
lights are on, but you have to be visible to us.
Yes. And also, I think my mom, she would also make us go outside. Like, she would lock the door and say, you can't come back in. And you would just have to go outside and figure something out. And it was like, damn, I'm literally forced to not sit in the house. And looking back at it, I think it teaches you a lot. Like, you go out, you make friends, you socialize, you luckily I never got into no trouble. Because, like, the area I grew up in, I could have gotten into trouble easily.
sure.
But, like, I definitely avoided that, and I stayed locked in. And I think growing up for me, I grew up with a lot of girlfriends. Like, not girl, but, like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
only,
They put you in a friend zone.
y'all crazy.
Yeah,
but,
if
like,
they could be your girlfriends, they would have been your girlfriends.
I literally only hung out with
Sound
girls.
like what's my
growing up.
man name? Whitlock. I stayed away because I knew what I was capable of. You seen that?
I didn't see that.
He's talking about the.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, Jason Whitlock.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You didn't see it?
I didn't see that part.
He was saying I stayed away from all of that because I knew what I was capable of doing.
Okay.
When you think about everything that's going
Yeah.
on over there,
Right.
my boy said, "Hey, I would have been all over there." So I
That's crazy.
I like that analogy.
I do hate that guy, though.
I do like the analogy that he used in this book, though, when he said, if you fell asleep on June 28th, the day before the iPhone dropped, and you came back to current, it would be crazy because you would just see all these people walking around looking at this little rectangle. And
Do
like,
you think that's what it'd been like, or you think you'd be like, "Let me get one of them"? Where y'all get that from?
It's like when Captain America got
Yeah.
out of the super serum stuff. He woke up and he was in Times Square and he's looking around at all of the screens
Yes.
and all of that stuff. Yeah.
it would have been crazy because like you would have been like, damn, why everybody just looking at their phone?
Yeah.
Also, why is it not a flip phone no more?
Yeah. Well,
He
you
has-
wouldn't even, I don't even think you would know it was a phone, though.
Yeah.
Because it's rare that you see people like this. I mean, obviously you do.
Yeah.
But most people are like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this rectangular thing that he's holding right now?
And he was like, they're walking down the street. Every time they stop and look at this little rectangle box. They're on the train. Everybody's looking down at their little rectangle box, and it's like, that is kind of crazy that our world has turned into that. Like, you no longer really socialize out in public. Everything is done online now, and like, I guess in a way, I could see it being beneficial to someone who may have like some social anxiety or something like that. But maybe, do y'all think the phones have contributed to people having social anxiety?
100%. Because people don't have to make real life friends if they don't want to.
Yeah.
Right? So, like,
Also, think he talked about that too. Like being online, it has that block feature, so you can always just block somebody real quick, and it ends that
There, it
relationship
ends everything
very
there.
quickly.
So, like, I think we started to, I mean, we've talked about this. I think it might have even been last episode where I had a friend in school that I really liked, and it was a girl, and we would text all day. We would send messages on Facebook, and then we got in person. I'm like, oh shit, I actually got to talk to this person.
Yeah.
Before a phone, like if we didn't have Facebook or I didn't have a cell phone, I had no choice but to express those feelings to her in person, or just don't. You
Or
live
just
your whole
don't, yeah.
life thinking what could have been.
Being shy.
But instead, with this phone, I had an opportunity to connect, but it also was a blockage because I was so comfortable on this phone rather than comfortable with her in person.
Yeah.
And that's a disconnect there. But I do want to go back to this. Child-led play is where children best learn to tolerate bruises, handle their emotions, read other children's emotions, take turns, resolve conflicts, and play fair. And I think this is so interesting because there are a few kids in our family right now that are somewhat the same age. And I'm not saying somebody's doing it right or somebody's doing it wrong, but I do like to just watch all of the kids that are 3 and younger play.
Yeah.
Because when you're 3 and younger, you don't necessarily know what it means to take turns. Mm-hmm. You don't really know how to resolve conflicts and so on and so forth. So to see them basically have the neurons firing to start to figure that stuff out is so cool to me. And that's something you can really only get is if you're playing in person.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool.
My favorite analogy that he used in this part, the second part, I believe, right? It's the second part of the book, right? The comparison with the trees. Mm-hmm. He was saying that in the 1900s, I almost called it. In the 1980s, they created the biosphere too, and a part of that was trying to make a self-sustaining ecosystem in outer space. Mm-hmm. But he was saying that the designers had not realized that young trees needed wind to grow properly. When the wind blows, it bends the tree, which tugs at the roots on the windward side and compresses the wood on the other side. In response, the root system expands to provide a firmer anchor where it is needed, and the compressed wood cells change their structure to become stronger and firmer. And he basically compared that to kids by being able to go through certain things. He says stress wood is a perfect metaphor for children who also need experience frequent stressors in order to become strong adults, which meaning he was basically saying like, and I love that he clarifies everything because he doesn't want people to take these as extremes. So he was saying like, kids need to be left out. And he put like in quotations, like not too much. We don't want them to be left out too much to where they're depressed. We don't want to have them too stressed, but they need to experience some of these things in order to become strong, independent adults. Because if we have parents hovering over every play date, if we have parents and adults refereeing every flag football game, then the kids can never problem solve on their own, and they will never have the ability to be able to use their own minds to create situations to navigate through these different things. So that was one of my favorite parts of it because, again, as I think of myself getting older and preparing to be a parent, there's a lot of things on here that I read and be like, oh, I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. But then I also have to be realistic. I know myself. I'm going to be very overprotective. I used to say all the time, like, mothers have this sense in them that I'm never going to be able to be hit with. Whenever I'm at the park, I don't want to see the baby fall. I'm always in the position I want to catch. But a lot of moms be like, man, they got to fall. Mm-hmm. And that was I be trying to turn that off too. Yeah.
So, like, if Ivy falls, I'm kind of like, I got to let her fall.
Yes. Yeah.
And just let her do it. Yeah. And, like, sometimes it's hard to turn it off.
So reading 100%. That part, it made me realize that one of my biggest things when I get to that point, I'm going to have to completely turn it off and be able to say, you got left out at school or you had a situation and that's okay. And I'm going to have to actually want that. I'm going to have to make sure that happens if it's not happening enough versus the default thinking is to save it. You know what I mean? Or, so that was real interesting. Because it's the truth. And that's why I like books like this is because you have the truth is the truth. No matter how we feel about it as personal people, and we all have our own different opinions and ways, which he says in his book as well, for people at home that want to read it or thinking, he does not use this as a Bible. He is very aware that we all are going to parent differently, that there is no right or wrong answers to parenting because he says in his book too, in this part, where you can do all of the shit that he's saying, and you can still have a kid that's going to have anxiety and depression.
Yep. Yes.
And you can do all of the things that he's not saying to do, and you can still have a successful kid. Mm-hmm. And that was one of my favorite parts of the book, too, because you'll read a lot of this type of stuff where people act like what they're saying is the Bible and it's the only way. But I appreciate Jonathan. How do you pronounce his last name? Haidt. By acknowledging that this isn't a rite of passage. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's so many. All three of us can have different ways of parenting and still come out with successful kids. Yeah. But that was one of my favorite analogies in this entire part of the book where, like, your kid got to go through shit in order to be a strong tree. You know, the greenhouse trees that they tried to facilitate and give so much protection over, and they didn't sustain because it didn't go through anything. It didn't go through fighting off the strong winds, so therefore it didn't have to grow and solidify itself, and it kind of fell over. Yeah. But the trees that we see standing for 55 years in the front yard, that's because it went through all this shit.
Yeah.
Another thing that I thought was interesting, it's from Pew Research.
Which has been mentioned 50,000 times in the first 2 parts of this book. He getting all his research from Pew.
They found that 17% of American parents report they are often distracted by their phone when spending time with their child, and another 52% say that they are sometimes distracted. And it made me think about my interactions with my daughter when we are playing, and I fall into this quite often. Where like we are playing, she got a new Barbie camper. We're playing Barbie camper, and then my phone vibrate. I'm like, okay, what that was? Oh, okay, nothing. BR article. Oh, my phone vibrate. Oh, and just a group chat sending a TikTok that we need to review. Like, and because of that, it's basically saying that that's neglecting our child from the experiences. It's also teaching them that this little thing can be that distraction. So since I read that, this is early in the second part, so I may have read it, a week ago. I've been trying my very hardest to leave if we're in her playroom, I'm leaving my phone on the kitchen table. If it vibrates, I know that whatever's happening here is not going to be that important, because if it is, they'll call my wife. They'll call my wife.
Yeah,
there's multiple ways to get in contact with me. So if it's vibrating, Jimmy Butler might get traded. But damn it, me and Avery are playing Barbies right now. I'll get to that.
Yeah.
And so that's one eye-opening thing. Just I think if you can read a book like this that's helping you become a better parent and just take a few different things, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
I think it also helps some people appreciate some of the things from their childhood too, if you're not a parent. Because, people have tough relationships with their parents or resentment and everything. And you can read this, and there's a lot of information about things just being passed down. There's a lot of parenting styles that they didn't know. They didn't have this information to be able to read an ancient generation. Like, we're fortunate to be able to have a book like this or the information to prepare us and to make changes, where a lot of the people before us, our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, they was just going as they knew. You know what I mean? Like, they just was doing as best as they thought. So when they started seeing the TV boom and, you know what I mean, they wanted to be a little bit overprotective, they just didn't have some of the resources that we have now. And I think that's another thing that people can take off of this. But another thing he also said in this book, which I think he said before, is like the psychology of parenting, where you're overprotective in the real world, but the kids just do whatever the hell they want to do online. It's so backwards. And he went into some statistics and stuff.
They actually had a story, too, about a girl who had a helicopter parent but found a way to watch porn.
Yes.
That her mom was in the room right next to her being a helicopter parent, but she was so engraved in making sure her in real life was helicopter and didn't notice that her 12-year-old found a way to watch porn.
Yeah.
Yep, she literally said she's over there in the next room making sure I eat green
and vegetables
and orange and having all of these colors in my diet that she didn't realize that I was over here watching them. And I think that's the details of them going into the porn stuff is very eye-opening when they talk about how, like, it is just very easy to go watch porn.
It is.
Because they say, are you 18? Yeah. And you're just there.
And
you know what I mean?
a lot of states have now banned like Pornhub and stuff like that.
Which I think is good.
But before it really was like, are you 18? Yes. All right, you're in.
And you could be 6 years old. It's crazy. You don't need no ID. It's no verification. It's nothing but yes or no.
Yeah.
And when he breaks down, how easy it is and how, like, bullshit it is to be, like, 18 or older, it's like, yeah, that's kind of, which we always knew, but, like, when you put it into this perspective and how easy it is, it's just foolishness.
It's the same with social media sites. Their age limit is 13. There's not enforced. All you just have to do is click the square box in that you're confirming that you're 13 and older, and then boom, you're right. I think
recently, some country is now enforcing that. I forget what country it is, but there's a country that recently just started enforcing that, like, yes, and I don't even think it's 13. It might even be like 16 before you get on social media. And I'm like, cool, some real legislation.
How exactly are they forcing you to take a picture of an ID?
I'm not completely sure exactly how it's enforced, but, like, there are people making these rules now in different places. But now I think about, like, okay, Pornhub is now blocked off in certain states. Oh, it's Australia. Shout out to Austin that's doing that. But guess what? You just need a Twitter account nowadays. You just
Yeah,
need, you just
exactly.
need to be on Reddit. Like there are so many different ways, and he hasn't really talked about it that much in his book. But like, I think, and I'm sure he might get to it. It's so detrimental to a child's mind to be exposed to that type of stuff so early, because I think it changes the perspective of a girl of what it means to be important to a guy, or like the overall standard of beauty in these type of flicks are completely different than what they are in real life. And for a guy, the things that they're doing in these TV show or these videos, they're assuming that's what real sex supposed to be all the time.
That's one of the biggest conversations I've had with somebody or people is like, that's to me the most dangerous thing about porn is kids access it, so they're watching it. They're watching it before they are even having a kiss. He said that in a book. Like people are watching, and I'm not trying to get too graphic, but he said verbatim, they'll know what anal sex is before they've had a first kiss.
Yeah.
So if you get that far into it and you're that young, that means when you do have sex, if you're a girl or a boy, you look at it from what you saw. And we all know as adults here, y'all got kids, so y'all really be doing y'all damn thing.
At least once.
That it's literally TV.
Yeah.
It's like being a superhero. Like Spider-Man being able to do this is the same as a pornographic movie. Where it's like that's not the reality of what it is. That's just not that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
And it becomes dangerous because people get programmed to think that that's what it is and that's what goes on. And we see a lot of weird shit spilling over into real life because that is not meant to be consumed by people that don't know the reality. And it's kind of like everything else in the social media phase where like drugs and stuff. Drugs get shown a certain way in our culture with the internet. It's been like kind of fantasized about, and then it's like the reality is drugs ain't like this rapper thing where we all having fun. There's another side of drugs that just don't get talked about. Gang banging, this influx of everybody being a street dude. It's only portrayed one way in a positive light, but then you don't think about what it's like when somebody's actually on your ass, or you got somebody that died from street, or you got to be in jail. How many videos have we seen of somebody getting sentenced for 59 years? 76 years you're being sentenced to, and it's like, oh shit, that's the reality. And all of these things go back to this social media and the generation of all of these things being shown to our kids without the double-sidedness. It's being painted in a certain way, and it just becomes extremely dangerous. And I don't know what is to do, because there's not one singular answer, but boy, do we got a long way to go, because it's deeper than sex, it's deeper than drugs, it's deeper than violence, it's deeper than gang banging. It's so much shit. The standards of beauty, like you just mentioned, money management, what's important, friendships. Like it's just, this book puts into perspective how far we are, but how much control we can have if we start implementing things now in everybody's own way.
There's a few more things I want to get to before we get to our questions from the audience. One of the things he opens up by asking, at what age were you given freedom? And I kind of want to ask that to y'all, because the Gen Xers, these are people that were born in 65 to 80, the baby boomers. He asked pretty much every single audience. And the last remaining people from the 1928 to 1945, when they were asked when they given freedom, and that freedom is to basically be outside without supervision, without this, 6 years old, 7 years old, and 8 years old. Then he asked the next group. The next group says 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old. And then this last group, Gen Z, is saying 13 and 14. So as we get older, or as a society, we keep getting older, we're seeing less freedom amongst kids at early ages.
I think he also talked about the reason for that is that parents are anxious because of what they see online.
Yep.
They don't want their kids to get kidnapped, or the fear of being pursued by a sexual predator, or like all these things that you see happening online. It definitely does give you some sort of anxiety as a parent.
100%. He mentioned having kids walk to school, and I'm like, I can't imagine my daughter walking to school one day.
Yeah, and I was even like, damn, letting her just go to the park and just walking away.
Yeah, I can't see, and it's
It sounds crazy now.
that's exactly what we did. Like, even though
Yes.
on Mulligan, my school
Right
was at the
there.
end of the street.
Yeah.
But I walked to school every single day of my life.
Yeah.
Even after that, we moved deep into Galewood. There was plenty of times I walked to school. That's a 45-minute walk. My parents didn't not that they didn't care, obviously, but they trusted me and trusted that I was going to be safe.
Well, I think it's also different because I think we're boys. I think you would probably feel way more comfortable letting your son do that versus letting your daughter
Probably feel a
do
little
that.
bit more comfortable, but you would still have the same feelings of like even me, my neighborhood, the kids walk.
Yeah.
And it'd be like a group of girls. And I've told Dana, like, I hope nobody be looking at me crazy because I'll be watching them. Like if I'm
Just to make
outside
sure
and
they're
I'm
safe.
like, I'm not watching them in a weird way, but I'm gonna make sure ain't nobody saying nothing
So
to
that's
them.
perfect because my next thing talks about the breakdown of adult solidarity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
But
that was so eye-opening.
before you get there, my age, the earliest age of my life. But it's also different because I was born and raised in the hood before we moved to the suburbs. And I think culturally, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And we was always
8 years.
together. But
Yeah.
I was the youngest person on my block. So I was 6 years old.
Yeah, 7,
And
8.
I was going to
Definitely.
Miss Payne's store, which is around the corner in the block. We would be all on a
Wait, what was your store name?
Miss Payne was her name.
Oh, ours was Miss Spain.
Wow.
Yeah,
yeah.
Miss Payne was
My sister was just over there, and I was like, Miss. Oh no,
and it
Miss
was an
Spain.
actual storefront, right?
Oh no, it was a house.
No, this Miss Payne actually had
Oh.
a store.
Miss
but it was-
Spain had a house.
Yeah, so that's like the candy lady.
Yeah.
Miss Payne was the candy lady, but had a storefront.
Oh wow.
So yeah, she was an older lady.
Yeah.
Who, if I had any guess, she's definitely passed away by now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Rest in
'Cause Miss
peace.
Payne for us, she was
If Miss
really
Payne
older,
is still
too.
alive, she's 115.
Yeah, same.
You know what I mean?
Shout out
RP to Miss
Ours
Spain.
was Popeyes. Popeyes had his thing in the garage down the hill.
The garage. I used to
yeah.
love that
And
garage.
then it was
by the
us.
way.
We were the candy
Yes,
lady.
the Nana became.
Yeah.
Shout out to Popeyes. That was the first time. I didn't
Rest
know
in
if
peace
that's
to
what it was
Popeyes.
called, but that's what the first time I had hot crunchy curls with cheese. Just a little random
Oh,
fact
yeah,
down the hill. But anyway, I was 6 and we would explore. The funny thing about it now, though, reading this book, my mom would never do that shit in 2024. If I
Yeah.
told my mom's friends or if I told people who didn't know that, they would be like, "You lying? Your mama ain't let you. Your mama ain't had you outside at 6." Cause my mom, that sounds like careless in today's thing, but
Yeah.
it's just what it was. And we always was a group. I wasn't by myself 6 years old just walking around. It was always like 5 or 6 kids from the block, and we would go throughout the blocks.
And also, I think one thing that's changed for us, at least in the suburbs, is not as walkable as like the city.
That's
So
true.
like, it's so much easier for us as kids to go be around the block, and like, it's still close. You could just cross the alley and be right back at home. Out here, everything is so far and it's not really walkable. So that also adds that other factor. You don't really see kids outside as much. If you do, they on bikes or they got dropped off somewhere, or like that's usually how it's working.
It's like a 50-50 balance being where like it's more to walk and do. But in the suburbs, when we first moved into the suburbs, what I realized, it was way more to do when you got there.
Yeah.
So like there's a baseball field where like you could actually have a baseball game. We didn't have that. When I say from the hood, I mean when we took crates
Yes,
and you had to knife the bitches through
at the bottom and then
pin
nail
it
it
up.
up.
Yes, that's what we used to do and play in the alley.
Yes.
You don't have to do that in the suburbs. You
No.
just go get a ride to DCP and they have structured courts, 3-point line
They got a
painted.
damn pickleball court now.
You know what I mean? You don't. Yeah. Pickleball court. You don't have to. Hey, the car coming. Watch out. Hold the ball. Remember to score. You ain't gotta do that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's that balance of like whatever. But that spills over to what
the
you was
adult
talking about.
solidarity. And this was eye-opening to me because I've been very open. I've said it plenty of times in the show. I've been living in my house now 3 years. Well, it'll make 3 years in 2 weeks. I don't know a single one of my neighbors' name. I write a check to my next door neighbor every year because he's the captain of the HOA, whatever the hell. I don't know his name. And in this, they talked about the lack of adult solidarity where you would have kids outside, but you trusted that your neighbors might be able to keep an eye on them to make sure they're not doing something they're not supposed to. And I don't think, at least in my community, we have that at all.
No.
And I don't know if that makes me want to try to be more active in the community, because when Avery does get older, it would be cool to have her be able to go outside and say, the Johnsons on the corner, they be out up front. They'll keep an eye on Avery if they need to. And also me try to replicate that when they have kids out. But when I was younger, That's 100% true. I knew every one of my neighbors. I knew the parents. I knew their last names. I knew to be respectful. I knew that if the barbers across the street, which is their last names, if Lady Barber is out front, we better not do no cursing because she'll definitely call up Nana. That doesn't happen at all
That
nowadays.
don't happen today at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents, we need to get back to that, I think.
And a lot of parents don't want other parents talking to their kids or like saying anything.
That's
to their
why.
kids.
You don't want adults talking to your kids.
Yeah, so like in that point, you can also just start a fight. Like some parents might take that personally and like be like, why the F you telling my kid to do this? Or like, why you telling him to not do this? Like that that could also just cause something else.
That's why I'm one of those people where, like I said, I see the group of girls walking in my neighborhood, or if I'm outside walking Penny, and we'll stay a couple minutes, but I'm not saying nothing to them. I'm not directing nothing because I value my life. I'm not finna get into it with people because that's just the climate we live in today. Everybody's sensitive. You can't tell anybody anything, and everybody knows everything. So that's why we don't have that. But I remember that as well. I don't have many moments, if any, where I got in trouble outside of the house because I knew when people were around, I kept my composure up. No, I know a lot of kids who I used to hang out with, soon as they get away from the crib, they cursing like a sailor.
Yeah.
Wasn't necessarily me because I know, I ain't that far away from the crib, man. One person hear me say something, I come back through this drive-thru at McDonald's, and the dude who work here, he gonna see me next to my mom in the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why act a fool at the McDonald's unsupervised when I know I'm gonna have to come back with my mom? That just never made sense to me. But yeah, I'll tell the story all the time. We was on Mulligan, where KB used to live, and we was in the back in his neighbor's crib, and we was trying to dunk on the rim off a chair. You jump off the chair, and I'll never forget his dad came out there like, man, y'all, what the hell y'all doing? Man, y'all gonna break y'all neck. Don't do this. Is the most dangerous shit that y'all could ever. This is crazy. And we all listened. It wasn't like, hey, Dad, he just told us we was crazy. But that's today's world. Whereas like, if he didn't say that, one of us probably could have fucked ourselves up. You jumping off of a chair to dunk.
Yeah.
It's just so much going on. There's bikes and shit around the floor. So, but yeah, we definitely need more of that. But like, again, I'm not comfortable enough to do that at that type of rate. As comfortable as I am is going to a sporting event and being like, hey, young fella, that pop-up you use the glove to block the sun. That's it. But I ain't doing nothing else. I don't want to talk to nobody, kid. Cause that's like you said, that spills into a whole. I've seen all type of. I went to one of EJ games and parents would rush the court.
Oh yeah.
Just like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
Last thing before we get to these questions, Mr. Hype put together. He built a ladder from childhood to adulthood. This is his ideal.
Every even birthday,
there should be some more wiggle room for the person. So at age six, the age of responsibility, children are formally recognized as contributors to the household and not as dependents. We're talking about chores. We're talking about that.
Yeah.
At age 8 is the age of local freedom. Children gain the freedom to play and hang out in groups without adult supervision. Age 10, the age of roaming. Preteens gain the freedom to roam more widely, perhaps equivalent to what their parents were allowed to do at the age of 8 or 9. Age 12, the age of apprenticeship. At 12, which is around the age that many societies begin their ritual initiations, adolescents should be encouraged to start earning their own money and doing chores for neighbors and relatives like babysitting. Age 14, the beginning of high school. At age 14 comes around, it's time that high school begins, and this is the major translation between which independence increases along with academic pressure. Age 16, the beginning of internet childhood. This should be the big year of independence, and it's basically where he's recommended that you get your first social media account. Age 18, the beginning of legal adulthood. Age 21 is full legal adulthood. This is where he suggests you'll be able to go buy alcohol, cigarettes, and even gamble. And gambling is like what? Now the age limit is 18 to start. He's saying you push that up to 21, and then that's his whole thing. And then you're ready to be a full adult at age 21.
And this is a ladder. So what he's saying is these are years where you get a little bit more responsibility because he feels like kids need that ownership in their adulthood. Each step that they're getting a little bit more,
Just add some structure.
Yeah. But they're getting a little bit more freedom or power and control of something. How many questions we got?
2 questions.
Okay.
Here it is one. From T_Cribs21.
Oh.
How the hell did that happen? They don't even know.
Oh, they don't know.
Shout out to T Cribs.
Shout out to T Cribs.
He was what? Hey, fact. T Cribs is born after me.
Yeah.
Way after me.
Yeah.
So he would be considered that part of the era.
He was born with 98, I would assume.
But I can say for a fact, because I seen it with my eyes when I was an older kid, I remember Terrence from being a smaller kid in our neighborhood walking around unsupervised, which is why he is a little bit more aligned with my generation than his generation, because that's how I know when I first was around y'all friend group and Terrence was around, that's what I knew him as.
Mm-hmm.
He was little Terrence that used to just sit there, watch us play basketball with his little hoodie, being a little badass kid. I knew him more of that than Veronica's brother.
Younger brother, yeah. How old were y'all when you got your first iPhone? Do you remember any key changes or stories from that time in your life?
iPhone, it was like senior year of high school, I think.
Wow.
But I did have an Android.
They just kept getting the virus.
I'm right with him. My 17th or 18th birthday, my senior year of high school, I got my first iPhone.
Yeah.
But I had an iPod Touch,
Mm-hmm.
and I had every phone before the iPhone. I don't know why it took me to get an iPhone so late, but I had the first Google phone, the G1, that was touchscreen with the internet and the full keyboard. I had the Sidekicks.
I wanted one of those so bad, bro.
I had what else? I had the.
My mom would not get me.
It was another phone that was like touchscreen. It was an Android though, and I used to rock with the Android because you could download straight to the phone. You was downloading the 18 and older stuff.
Yeah.
I was just downloading music.
I was downloading music too.
He was downloading Alexis, Texas. I was downloading the new Lil Wayne freestyle. Big difference. I ain't get no viruses, but 18 I think was my first iPhone.
I was a junior in high school, and before that, I've had phones, but they needed Wi-Fi to get on.
Yeah.
So like I had a phone that, I would have to go to the library. I would have to go to Taco Bell to use.
Mm-hmm.
Flex. That's what we call Flex. We call Flex. His last name was Washington. We called him Wi-Fi Washington because he was like the last one.
Yeah.
But the Google phone, the G1, that was the first phone that when I had it said LTE, and you ain't need the Wi-Fi, and that shit was so crazy. I had that in Burr Ridge. I had that in middle school, and that phone was a phenomenon, boy. That phone got me a lot of hoes. That I ain't do nothing but hit up on MySpace. Young as hell.
The garbage people, this is off topic. We got another question. But this morning, Tuesday is where we put our garbage out.
Okay.
I put the garbage out, and I wake up to like start my car, and my garbage had this big ass yellow sign on it that say "Do not take," and it had a QR code to scan. I got a new card. It was on auto pay. Forgot to pay. So I went in the house. I scanned it.
Petty. Don't take.
Don't take the garbage. I scan it. Boom, boom, boom. And I paid the $100. So I pulled the goddamn sticker off. They're at my house right now, complaining about the sticker not being there, even though I just paid the bill.
Oh wow.
Bro, take the fucking garbage, bro.
Take the garbage.
I paid the bill. I put it on auto pay with the new cars. You'll never have another.
Take the garbage before
garbage.
Derrick puts you in the garbage can.
My wife just said you got to call them later. What does that mean, bro? It's paid. I paid it, gang. I paid. God, that's frustrating. The next one comes from Big Baller Zah.
Stinking.
We really did have a lot this year, though. He was nice enough to empty it. Oh, okay, so he was cool. That guy was cool, I guess. How do you plan on balancing playing discovery and safety as a parent? What are your thoughts on safetyism? How can society safely restore unsupervised play for kids, or can they even do it? There's a lot in there. But let's take it one by one. How do you plan to balance play and discovery? This is an interesting one because I've been thinking about this a lot since reading it. And when I moved out here, my dad trusted me enough, and I'm 14 years old when I moved out here. I did not have a curfew. Mm-hmm. I could be out all day. On a school night, it didn't matter because my dad just trusted me. He tried to do that same thing on my sister. It didn't go as well. So I say that to say that I think it might depend on the person that we raise.
Yep.
Because my dad would tell me nothing good happens after 1 o'clock, but he never told me to be in home by 1 o'clock. And he's right. We damn near got arrested after 1 o'clock once upon a time. But I do believe that I needed that type of experience to know that, okay, there are certain people I probably shouldn't hang out with at a certain time, and then that never happened again. I don't know how to answer this question. I literally don't know.
Because I think you also, you have to trust that you raise your kid right, but you also have to trust that your kid is like following the things that you're teaching them. And I guess that takes a while, and it takes some experience. Like, you're gonna just have to let it happen at some point, and then just kind of just roll with it. Cause like I remember one time, me and Angie was out. We leaving Gordon Ramsay's up at Naperville, and it's a lot of bars and stuff over there, and like adults drinking and early teenagers doing. And I'm like, some of these kids are like in high school. Why are they just walking around over here at night, and all these adults are drinking and drunk, and like I was like, this is not the place for young kids to just be hanging out.
We would have went over there as kids.
I would have never gone over. My mom would have never let me go over there as kids.
No. Forget what your mama would have let you do. You would have went over there.
I don't think so.
So if I picked you up and said we finna go over here, we finna go to the Giordano's over there, and we finna just chill over here with these girls, you would have been like, nah, I'm okay.
No, but still, it just seems kind of odd that I just don't think that's the right environment for like high school people, like high school kids to just be hanging out with drunk adults.
I don't know. To me, that's just a part of that's the overprotective part, where it's like kids are gonna have to be in spaces, and you gotta try. Like, what are your kids gonna do when they go to college? They're gonna be 19 and they're gonna be on a college campus full of nothing but bars.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the reality. His sister went to Western Illinois. I used to go there. I'll say it honestly, man. The first few times, the most fucked up I ever got in my life, I was not 21. I even go further. Me and my brother used to go to Miami. All the Miami stories I be telling y'all, I wasn't 21.
Yeah.
Like, it's honestly, just being as honest as it can be. That's just what it is. But I mean, I'm not saying it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying, like, I think you hit it on the head with your previous statement, which was like, you got to trust your parenting. Luckily, I was raised the right way where I was able to be in those situations, and I didn't do anything. I don't have no stories where we did anything bad. I wasn't arrested. I didn't cause a scene. Nothing went wrong because my parents had different things installed in me. But I also think, it is a thing where you just kind of, like KB said, you got to figure out who you're raising, because as much as we think we know, everybody is their own person, which is the best part about being a parent, is to see what type of person you raise. But like, you may have a kid who's going to have some of you in them, but they going to be their own person. And one thing that I am going to say, I don't have the answer for that. Growing up in my household, I already know it's just what it is. Fortunately or unfortunately, you're going to play sports. Doesn't have to be basketball, doesn't have to be my favorite sports. But I just feel like so much is learned from sports of being able to be social, teamwork, facing adversity, getting out the house, being active. It's so much that can be gained. Even if you don't always have to play the sport to be a Division I standout professional. But I just know that there's extreme values that come from team sports that I want my kids to experience, even if they don't want to be a baseball player. But you're going to do something where you're going to work with others and be a part of a team and learn how to win, lose, and face adversity. That's just a standard that's going to be set in my household that I already have my mind made up on. And that's one of the things I'm going to try and hope that can lead to something. But I also think we're different because we have a close-knit friend group. So I have the luxury of knowing whenever I do start to have kids, y'all will have kids too. And we can do this thing together versus, I'm a sociable dude too. So if my kids go to school and meet friends, I have no problem befriending their parents to make our kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's not like that. My girlfriend's not like that.
I don't know if I'm gonna be like that. We had this conversation recently with my wife. She's like, yeah, let's say she does get into softball. Like, are we gonna be friends with the other people's parents? That feels kind of weird to me. Because again, I don't gain new friends often.
Yeah.
We've had our same.
That's
friend
not say
group.
friends. That's say acquaintances. I don't think I'm gonna be friends with
even
these
that. I don't do that often. Like, any new acquaintance I've had in the last 2 to 3 years
From
is
work?
like people we've hired.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know Christian before 6 months ago, but now he's a friend / acquaintance. Same thing with Austin from 2 years ago. Like, that's the only way I've been able to grow that way. But maybe it's a good thing for me to start to do that. Like,
Andy
hey,
would
your
probably
daughter at shortstop, oh man, at third base,
That's the perspective. I'm only do it for my kids.
Yeah.
If my kids in here, we don't have to see each
And it
other.
also probably is beneficial to be like, because if they're gonna be close,
Yeah,
Avery might want to spend a night at some houses.
That's what I was
need to
just
know.
about
Now,
to say.
that's my biggest thing. The spending the night shit is going to take a lot for me.
Yeah.
They going to spend the night at Uncle D. Mill's crib and Cousin KB crib, but your third base friend I don't know if we doing that shit.
I also find it really weird too, because Suzanne's sister is a sophomore in high school. When she has a sleepover, it's at my house, right? Because we're the cool brother and sister, right? We don't have many rules. Just respect the few rules that I have. So there are people that will come over, some kids that will come over.
You're responsible for them.
I'm responsible, but I've never met their parents before.
Right.
I'm like, damn, y'all feel really confident in me without knowing.
Or do they
me.
know? Do they know it's Suzanne at least?
That's a good question.
No, probably not. But they have some type of idea, I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah. Some people are like that, bro. Some people are like that. Some people are super. Then shout out to them, because it's gonna be a struggle for me.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a big struggle for me. But that's also because I'm not a big spender nighter.
True.
I spend the night at your house,
cousins'
and then
houses.
Yeah,
and
like
I was
but
at my cousin's house.
How many friends' houses who y'all spend the night at?
Not many. No.
I spent the night at Rail's house.
He was damn near family at that point.
Yeah, no,
But
right?
like I've never spent. I spent the night at Darnay house. That's it. And at that point, again, kind of like real. He's like family. He called my mom Ma. So
And
I
Stefan's
don't know.
house. That's
I don't
Stefan's
think I spent the night at friends' houses.
Yeah, I didn't either.
What would be rules? Because I got some rules for when her friends come over. What do y'all have for rules?
Door is open.
Doors open.
Mm-hmm.
Boy or girl, doors open. Because I'm a big believer in that. I know we have the what do they call it? The double standard. I'm on my son about sex and pregnancy just like I would be for a girl.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Tell my son, if you're having sex, you're good, old enough to have a job, because you're playing a risk where you have a baby with responsibility. So if you don't want a job, and you want pops, podcast, and hard work to be able to provide luxuries, be smart. So door got to be open, curfew. But I kind of want the curfew to be earned, not given, like you said. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a good test, to not give your kid a curfew and just see what they do. And if they come in and be like, yeah, you're dumb as hell, thinking that was acceptable. But other than that, I don't see myself as a big rules guy. You got to clean up. I'm a big clean up guy.
Right.
Yeah, there's gonna be chores around the house.
And I think you got to have a certain respect level for your mom, especially for, I know the mom to daughter thing can get, dicey, spicy. So I know with my daughter, that would be a big thing. Just respect your mom. And then that's what it is. I always visualize myself running my house like the world. If you do everything you're supposed to do, you're going to get rewarded greatly. If you don't, the consequences are going to be severe. So just do what you're supposed to do. The real world is going to be the same way. If you break the law outside, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
If you don't break the law, you have freedom and you can live a beautiful life. The house is the same way. You won't ever have to do too much, because I'm gonna take care of my own shit. That's just how I am. I don't even want Dana doing my laundry. I got it. So my kids are never gonna have to clean up behind me. Just clean up behind yourself and we good. Be good.
Yeah. The respect to the mom thing is definitely big. Respect to me, obviously. Just making sure that you're in line with everything that I'm teaching you, essentially. Just weed smoking won't be allowed either until you're old enough to at least move out.
What if your child says, but you smoke?
They wouldn't know I smoke.
Are you sure? Kids are a lot smarter than we give them credit to be.
No, yeah, but I didn't know my mom smoked weed for a long time.
I think Ivy's gonna be smarter than you.
Because I think my mom did a good job of never smoking at home.
Right.
But even then, you might have a beer case. That don't mean that the kid can have.
For
a
sure.
beer.
That's
So
what I
it's
was
like,
I wanted to see what his mindset was, because that's how I've had conversations, and Dana kind of be like that. Well, she see. No, I'm from the era where I don't give a fuck if I come in here with a blunt as big as this microphone. If it's my shit, I'm grown. Sometimes you gotta have the pay. I come from the era where it's just like, I'm grown, damn it.
Yeah.
My rules for when she has the sleepovers at our house.
Oh, so you're preparing to have the sleepovers?
No, I'm talking about when Suzanne's sister has people over.
Okay.
Oh.
Speak to everybody. When you come into my house, you better say hi to me and my wife. Damn it, the dogs too, because they are important in this household. Clean up after yourself. Shoes off at the door. No feet on my couches. Everything else, I'm cool. That's
So
it.
why you don't tell Kyrie to take off his shoes? I'm just joking.
Do
But that's actually funny. That was a rule that I was given when I was older. When you come in and out of the house, you got to
Take
say
your
hi.
shoes. Yeah, take your shoes off. I didn't actually know that rule until I moved in with Roscoe. Roscoe was like, "Don't walk into my house and not speak to me."
Yeah.
And like I didn't.
It's a respect.
I
thing
didn't
for
even
sure.
like when we lived on the South Side. I never really was taught that, or like it wasn't instilled into me. Cause like sometimes I walk in the house, no, it was just my sisters.
Yeah.
And my brother, or like it was never like I had to say something to them. And also, we woke up together.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I didn't have to speak to them every morning. Roscoe, when you wake up in the morning, you better say good morning to me when you see me.
Yep.
Like, that was his thing. Like, and if you didn't say it, he would be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why when we went to 2 things for Ivy, it was a birthday or whatever, I made sure I spoke to him because I already know. I know how older men are going to be. They want to be, well, older people in general, they want to be acknowledged. Mm-hmm. And I feel them. That's why I go in, hey.
It's the bare minimum. Hi.
Yeah, this
how you doing?
Acknowledge.
Yeah.
It's more awkward because some people it's awkward to say that, to say hi and thing. It's more awkward to not say nothing to nobody and just when you walking in a room physical room and just like, and then y'all got to go get pizza at the same time. Now you're going, hey. It's like, you saw me 15 minutes ago. But no, those are some really good rules.
Yeah.
But yeah, other
also,
than that,
the teacher thing too. I'm gonna be big on that. You got to respect your teachers. I don't want to get no phone calls. You been there being disrespectful or nothing like that. That's just something that I'm.
We prepared for it though, because I was a damn nerd. I didn't get my first B to freshman year of high school, but I still got in trouble occasionally. You know, you just got to prepare for it.
I got to prepare for the electronic rules. I don't have those implemented yet, but I know I'm gonna have to have them.
My thing was never I was being disrespectful to the teacher though. My shit was always dumb stuff.
Oh, you definitely.
I was a class clown.
I was on.
I only disrespected the teacher once when she disrespected me.
Well, maybe he'll have something that tells you what the rules should be for the phones. We still got a lot left. And for the people that are keeping along with us on the book club, let me read to see what's next. For next Tuesday, we only have 2 chapters, chapter 5 and chapter 6. That's page 113 through 173. So it's about the same amount of pages you had to read for this one. Mm-hmm. And we'll get into that. We appreciate everybody that tuned in or listened to this episode of Numbers on the Board. Might get well soon. We does have to put in a book report by next Tuesday to make sure that he did read part 2, so he not off the hook.
He gonna skip and read this timestamp and be like, yeah, I love when he was breaking down the ladder.
Be sure to hit the link in the description and vote for us for Best
LiAngelo
Basketball
Ball
Podcast.
just got booked for Rolling Loud in L.A.
No, he didn't. That's crazy. For 1.5 songs?
That's crazy.
1 song in a snippet?
Hey.
We might have to
Yeah,
go
Jello
ahead and
is
get
right
them.
here. March 15th. Rolling Loud. He's on the same day as ASAP Rocky and Sexy Red YG. Wow.
Sheesh.
They got his name higher than Boz from Dreamville.
Damn.
That's crazy.
They got his name above DDG.
Damn.
Yeah.
DDG them got a hit too. Him and
The Pink Dreads.
Yeah, him and Max.
All right, y'all.
We appreciate y'all. Peace.